Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream, our 60th one. How's everybody doing out in Chatland? Let's see who's here. Hi, Della Hayes. Hey, Hate Camel. Hi, John Kelly. Hi, Eagle. Hey, Spud. Hey, Zero. Hi, Evil One. Hey, Retro. Oh, thanks for dropping the link, you guys. Got an appointment. What? Well, you can always watch it on replay. Hope it goes well. Hey, nobody. Hey, Andrew. How you doing over there in Sheffield? Hey, Donald. Hey, Mike. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Spoonie. Hey, tall person. There's Spud Gun again, expressing love of custard. Hi, Greg. Hey, Bastard Beast. I hope everybody's doing well. We got a lot of articles stacked up. Some really weird stuff going on. We're going to do an Ezra Miller update. He's on the run, guys. He's on the run. So this is going to end in a blaze of glory, I'm sure. But let's get some sad stuff out of the way first. There's been a couple of bad things. Hey, Pete. How you doing, man? I'm doing all right, Spud. Just kind of busy. And I thought, well, I had a nice nap. I should do a stream. Because I haven't done one of these in a while. Flash forwarding. Nice. Yeah, a little foreshadowing there with the Speed Force. Tim Sale died. 66 years old. That's not very old these days. He's the artist on Long Halloween and Dark Victory from Batman. Did a bunch of other stuff, too. He's been around for ages. Tim Sale was an incredible artist whose take on iconic characters had real human depth, and his groundbreaking page designs, and my screen just shut off for some reason. Changed the way an entire generation thinks about comic storytelling on Thursday, DC Comics tweeted. Our condolences to Tim's family and friends will be deeply missed. Worked on popular comics featuring Batman, the Hulk, Spider-Man, and Superman. Apparently had been admitted to a hospital earlier this week with severe health issues. I had heard about him going to the hospital, and I had that article on deck, and then Shady sent me this today, and yeah. Cause of death has not been revealed. Could have been the coof, I suppose. So, yeah, pretty sad. I feel bad for his family. I've never been a huge Tim Sale fan, but he did really good work with shadows, which is really hard to do as an artist, it seems. So, it is a tragic loss. He began his career in the 80s working for Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Harris, and Oni Press, often collaborating with writer Joseph Loeb. Jeff Loeb is very hit and miss for me, which is why this guy never really caught on for me, I guess. I'll have to reread Long Halloween. I haven't read it in ages, but Jeff Loeb's work is pretty hit and miss. But condolences out to Tim Sale's family. So it's always rough to lose somebody you love. And I'm sure the comics industry is worse off for it because most of the art now is dog shit. Say about 66 years. Well, I mean, is that in dog years or people years? How you doing, James? Hey, Gunsky. I haven't seen the movie either. I read Long Halloween when it first came out, but that was quite a while ago. Oh, thank you, tall person, for the donation. Off-topic comic book question. Does anyone in the DC universe know that Black Canary is Dinah Drake? She doesn't wear a mask or have face-altering superpowers. Yeah, I think that was common knowledge for a while, but I'm not sure. Hey, Shady. Just Impulse bought a Blu-ray player so I can reliably watch all the movies. Plus bought Batman to christen it. Nice. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I have a really nice Blu-ray player somebody gave me a while ago. And I I can't really tell the difference between that and DVDs on my small screen because I have a 27-inch monitor that I watch stuff on. But I like that. It's very reliable. Most of the art looks like it was drawn by Michael J. Fox. Wow. Hey, Anon. Oh, appreciate that, man. Thank you. The movie was pretty good. I'll have to check it out. As you guys probably figured out by now, if I haven't said it, I don't watch a lot of cartoons. I did think the Dark Knight Returns was pretty good. That wasn't bad. I think that was who was it? Did the voice on that one? Welker? I don't know. It was pretty good. All right. So as usual, hit the like button, share it on your social media, subscribe if you haven't. If you're feeling generous, like tall person there, you could donate to the Streamlabs link, which I will check in between articles. You can't tell if you have 4K really until 40 inches or above. That's what I've heard. So that's why I don't have a 4K player or a 4K TV. It's noticeable when a hero doesn't wear a mask. It usually is. They're kind of vague on that because she wears a wig, as I recall. So, I mean, how many people really pay that close attention to blonde chicks? They all kind of look the same. a 32-inch LG monitor I use as a TV. Very nice, actually. Nice. All right, let's look at our other death. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Everett Peck, creator of Duckman, dies at 71. He did the adults-only comedy starring Jason Alexander, aired for 4 seasons in the 90s on USA, but he's done some other work, too. He died on Tuesday in Solana Beach, California, of complications of a long battle with pancreatic cancer. His wife, Helen, told the Hollywood Reporter. Pancreatic cancer is basically a death sentence. You have a very slim chance of surviving that. Duckman was pretty popular. It was pretty edgy for its time. It's not really my thing, but I can see why a lot of people liked it. Peck also created the 2006-2007 Cartoon Network Squirrel Boy show, featured an anthropomorphic character like Duckman and starred Richard Stephen Horvitz and Pamela Adlon. His resume also included work on Rugrats, The Real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters, Dragon Tales, Jumanji, The Critic, and Sammy. He was teaching in 2014. He went to Cal State Long Beach to teach. In addition to his wife, survivors include his children, Emily and Spencer, stepdaughter Paloma, and granddaughter Sidley. His death was announced Thursday with identical posts on Facebook and Instagram. Mr. Peck has left the studio, it read. That's awful. So, pancreatic cancer, that's a rough way to go. That's not a very happy thing to have. That's how they used to explain it. It's all, they've retconned a lot of these characters so much. Dyed her hair, sometimes wore a wig. Died in 6 months from pancreatic cancer. Wow. At least I got 2 to 4 years. Damn, dude. Are you in remission, Eagle? No, I'm not trying to be overly personal, but I'm just curious because don't want you dying on me. Hey, Addie, how you doing, man? I'm sorry, man. I hope everything works out and you're able to fight it off. Fucking cancer sucks. Watching my brother go through that was one of the worst experiences of my life. Average lifespan for my cancer. Yeah, my brother had the same thing you have, as I recall. Because we've talked about this once before. Hey, Kyle. Yeah, you have my deepest sympathies, dude, and best wishes. Because having seen that, I won't wish that on anyone. Thank you for the donation, Sir Adamantine. Jack, good day, sir. Good day to you, too. All right, some somewhat more recent news. We'll get into the Ezra Miller stuff in a few minutes. I kind of want to touch on a few smaller things first. Oh, damn, Pete. Sorry to hear that. Wow. Overbounding into comics, WWE Chairman Vince McMahon under investigation for hush money payments to ex-employees. Why does it look like he's about to do a little Slurpee action there? World Wrestling Entertainment Chairman Vince McMahon is no stranger to public scandals, but in a new report by the Wall Street Journal, the latest controversy has the chairman under investigation by his own board of directors. According to Wall Street Journal, WWE is investigating a secret $3 million settlement that longtime chief executive Vince McMahon agreed to pay to a departing employee with whom he had an affair, according to documents and people familiar with the board inquiry. Always anonymous sources. The former employee was hired as a paralegal in 2019, was barred by January 2022 separation agreement from talking about the details of her relationship with Vince. However, the investigation has gone deeper into other matters. Uh-oh, that's never good. Hey, monkey. The investigation started in April, revealing other non-disclosure agreements between female ex-employees of the company alleging misconduct by McMahon and John Laurentius. I don't know who that is. John heads the talent relations at WWE. Oh, that casting couch. While it's unconfirmed how many NDAs there are in total, the board's outside counsel claims the settlements have been handed out in millions of dollars. They've just been bribing bitches to keep their mouths shut. Probably some of them hot wrestling chicks. You know, those muscular trailer chicks that look like they'll put out but will crush you while doing it. It's kind of hot, not going to lie. The board's 8 independent directors have retained New York-based law firm Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett LLP to conduct the investigation. The board's preliminary findings are that Mr. McMahon used personal funds to pay the former female employees who signed the agreements, including one involving allegations against Mr. Laurentius. The law firm is also assessing WWE's compliance and human resources program and company culture. Hey, at least he used his own money because the dude's filthy rich, but at least he used his money and not the company dime. So there's that. Board members also learned of a $3 million agreement in a series of anonymous emails they received from someone who said the former WWE paralegal was a friend. Oh, that dirty rat. I hope she doesn't lose the money because of a douchey friend. Mr. McMahon's attorney, Jeremy McDivitt, said the former paralegal hadn't made any claims of harassment against McMahon and that WWE did not pay any monies to the employee on her departure. Yeah, that was hush money, and we all know it. See, I don't really want to take that cock. Close source to the situation is expecting a shitstorm over the course of the next few weeks as more details become public with his ongoing situation. WWE became a publicly traded company in 1999, and allegations of financial misconduct by the chairman could have a negative impact on the company's stock price and distrust from shareholders. The stock price sits at $67.18 as of this writing. Last month, the chief brand officer, Stephanie McMahon, the daughter of Vince, revealed she is taking a leave of absence from the majority of her roles within the company. I wonder if that's related. Stephanie announced on Twitter, as of tomorrow, I'm taking a leave of absence from the majority of my responsibilities at WWE. WWE is a lifelong legacy for me. I look forward to returning to the company that I love after taking this time to focus on my family. Or distance yourself from your philandering father, I guess. Stephanie stated that her hiatus will only be temporary. She looks forward to resuming her roles with the promotion. Her husband, Paul, apparently she's married to Triple H. I can't pronounce his last name. Levski, I don't know. He retired from competition at the age of 52 after suffering massive heart attack last summer, which left him with a defibrillator fitted to his chest. Jesus Christ. Isn't a heart attack a consequence of special vitamins that wrestlers use? This is not Vince's first rodeo with a major public scandal. McMahon was acquitted in 1994 after being accused of distributing steroids to his wrestlers, and his company was under fire in 2007 following the double murder-suicide of wrestler Chris Benoit. Despite the investigation, Vince McMahon controls about 80% of WWE's voting power. That's pretty impressive. Despite owning just 37% of the company. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, God, why? Cites that shares held by Vince, Linda McMahon, and Stephanie McMahon are Class B, which gives each of their shares 10 times voting power over Class A shares held by all others. Now, there was an update to this over on the MSN, if it will load. WWE CEO McMahon steps down as board investigates alleged misconduct. This is from Reuters from the past hour. Man, look at the thickness of that neck. That is not natural. Come on. No, stupid autoplays. I don't want to watch your stupid commercials. McMahon has voluntarily stepped back from his responsibilities as CEO and chairman until the review is over, the company said. If he has that much voting power, he can vote himself right back in. Board's investigating the $3 million settlement. WWE said Friday the board has engaged an external legal counsel to assist with an independent review, check compliance, HR, all that crap. So nothing really new there. They're just confirming that he is stepping away. Steroids, yeah, I'm shocked, right? She opened her mouth to a friend, that's a violation? Yeah, probably. She's probably going to lose her money. Laurinaitis. Road Warrior Hawk's younger brother. I don't know who that is, but I'll have to take your word for it. Oh no, rich guy pays off women he is banging. In other news, the sun rises every day. Exactly. Yeah, I don't care who any of these people are. But it's interesting because Vince McMahon is a pretty recognizable pop culture figure. And Twitter's been joking around that, in fact, Donald Trump will take over as CEO. But I'm 90% sure that's a joke. At this point, you really can't rule it out. But I admit it would be funny. If he's using his own money, what's the big deal? Yeah. Vince is on the sauce, same as his wrestlers. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Looks like a cast member of Vikings. Yeah, they do have kind of a look to them, don't they? All right. Let's see if I can get another article here to load up. Hey, Tyler. It's amazing how much people will try to justify race swapping Nick Fury with his dark black son. Yeah. I never liked the Ultimates version of Nick Fury. That's not Nick Fury to me. And the perfect casting for Nick Fury was, in fact, David Hasselhoff. I'm sorry. We can all argue on that, but that movie was total garbage cheese, which, of course, I loved. But he was great casting. $3 million is an expensive prostitute. Well, we don't know what kind of freaky shit she did for the years that she was working there. She worked there for like 3 years. So maybe it was like butt stuff every day while her face was buried in some other chick's muff. I don't know. Yeah, this is a grown-up show. Don't watch it if you're under 18. Spoiler alert. All right, over at Fortune, we got a couple articles from these guys to look at. These guys are working hard on supply chain issues. It's not baby formula. It's not tampons, which are also apparently a shortage, or the chicken shortage. No, the most important shortage of all, Legos. Lego is building a new factory in the U.S. to avoid supply chain problems. Thank Jeebus for that. Sorry, Eagle. I'd pay $3 million for that. Yeah, for 3 years of that. Yeah, why not? Danish toy maker Lego said it would invest $1 billion and create 1,760 jobs over 10 years with a new factory in Virginia in a bid to shorten its supply chain and avoid problems delivering in the U.S. in the key U.S. market. The company announced this week. Why Virginia? Go someplace cheaper, like Nebraska. There's nothing out there. They could use the jobs. Lego expects construction on its factory in Chesterfield County, Virginia, to begin in fall 2022 and plans to launch production in 2025, according to a statement from the company. The new factory is Lego's second in North America and its only manufacturing facility in the U.S., one of its biggest markets. The company previously had a factory in Connecticut, which it closed in 2006. That's pretty much the gist of the article. They go into some quotes and stuff, but if you're looking for a probably decent paying job, Lego, pretty solid industry. Kids always want Legos. They're overpriced, but there you go. Lego supply's been an issue for years. Yeah, that was pre-pandemic, as I recall. They were having some issues with that. Well, at least one company's going here, yeah. More U.S. factories instead of relying on China. Yeah, no shit, dude. Especially with, like, I don't know, our medicine and maybe substitute boob juice. Lego shortage in USA. Never mind. The move should move to Tennessee, Florida, Texas. Yeah, they probably would have done better. It'd have been cheaper. Pretty much anywhere in the Midwest would have been a lot cheaper than Virginia. Yeah, Greg, it's really sad that we have to celebrate a company coming here instead of being like, of course they do. Sorry, my sinuses are still flaring up. Why would we want medicine? We have Legos. I don't like the idea of getting sick. Not a big fan. The over-the-counter stuff is mostly from China. Yeah, we shouldn't have it in India either. That should be a national security issue. Last thing we need is India being like, oh, well, we don't like you right now. We're going to pee in your meds. So China, I think, already does that. Hey, TOS, how's it going, man? All right, let's take a look at a new rumor being spread around about Aquaman 2. Because it's not just the Amber Heard nonsense. Now there's some Michael Keaton drama. This comes to us from Cosmic Book News. And this is a rumor, guys. Don't get your hopes up. Aquaman 2 gets Michael Keaton Batman, more Amber Heard, and rumored DCEU reboot. It's claimed big changes are in store for Aquaman 2, which now includes the addition of Michael Keaton Batman as part of what it appears to be a DCEU reboot, as reported earlier. More of Amber Heard as Mera. Which, again, I maintain they're doing that to show that she's not very popular and it's not screening well, and they're going to use it to kick her out of the movie and replace her and refilm certain scenes. The info comes via what is said to be the latest test screenings for Aquaman 2, which may also mean Aquaman 2 and The Flash will switch release dates, as presently The Flash is set to get released after Aquaman 2, but since the Michael Keaton Batman is set to debut in The Flash, that must mean The Flash is getting released before Aquaman 2. Good job with common sense there. As things stand right now, Aquaman is set to release in March and The Flash in June, so they're probably going to swap those. Regarding the latest test screenings, a Twitter user is claiming, yeah, that's reliable, that Michael Keaton Batman showed up twice in the cut shown. Once in the first act to talk to Jason Momoa's Arthur Curry, suggesting to him that something is wrong with the Earth's core, which it's guessed the Atlanteans are behind, and the second time in the epilogue during a speech Aquaman says. That should have been a speech by Aquaman, because Aquaman says makes it sound like Aquaman said that this scene is in the film. So might want to talk to your writer about grammar and have him diagram some sentences for practice. The Twitter user also agrees it means the Michael Keaton Batman replaces Ben Affleck in the DCEU, which this dude's like 70-something. What the fuck? Even Affleck's Batman was like 50, mid-40s. I don't know. And it's just a move to get away from the Snyder stuff. Can we just have a younger Batman? Like 35? Ugh. Of course, this going into the speculation on the multiverse stuff that's supposed to happen in Flash. Then, of course, they're talking about the extra screen time with her. But again, I maintain that's so they can replace her in the movie. Maybe we'll get old Greg after all. But I'll drop the link if you guys want to read the rest of that. Hey, Jaded, how you doing? If we're going to bring Keaton back, it should be in the Batman Beyond storyline. Yeah, I agree. But I think from what it sounds like is instead of doing Batman Beyond, we're getting that weird Batgirl movie with a Latina Batwoman or Batgirl. And yeah, I'm super excited about that. Oh boy. The image, I mean, Rosario Dawson dressed like Batgirl would be kind of hot, but beyond that, I don't know. It looked bad. It looked like a CW show. Hey, Lester, how's it going? So Batman's going to be a comedy now? More or less. It's turning into a joke for sure. All right, let's get into the Ezra Miller stuff because Warner Brothers Discovery has got a time bomb on their hands. This idiot is going to end up getting killed or killing somebody, I think. He seems very deeply disturbed. So we've got, 3 articles? We'll start with the comic book resources. These kind of overlap, so bear with me. Looks like the Joker with no makeup, especially when she smiles. Yeah, but I'm weirdly attracted to her. I don't know. I can't explain it. She's completely not my type, especially because she's old and not Asian. Hey, Pat, how's it going, man? Yeah, that dude's got some stability issues, and I'm curious to know why they haven't announced that he's fired yet. I know they have a movie coming out with him, but dear God, this guy's a fucking nut job from the sound of it. So from CBR, The Flash's Ezra Miller deletes Instagram after posting memes mocking court's attempt to find him. Flash star Ezra Miller deleted their Instagram. Remember, he's non-binary, so it's a they, them, whatever. Gender weirdo shit. After posting a variety of memes taunting authorities who were actively searching for the actor after they were accused of manipulating and grooming an underage fan. The court didn't do that. Ezra did that. As reported by The Direct, the images were posted directly to Miller's Instagram story before the actor deleted the account entirely. The memes themselves seemingly mock the legal officials who are pursuing the actor, featuring texts such as, "You cannot touch me, I am in another universe." Why does that sound like a suicide note? And message from another dimension. It's possible that these photos are in reference to The Flash, which will see protagonist Barry Allen meeting multiversal versions of himself. There's a couple of them here. Can I click on these? Do these still work? I don't know. The longest of the 5 messages reads, "I am shielded from negative people and their ill intent. My spirit, mind, body, and soul and success are not altered by anyone's envy." God, it sounds like dialogue from Plan 9 from Outer Space. "I am protected from all negative, illegible people attempt to throw at me, subconsciously and consciously. I clear any and all hidden peers who are hidden enemies." Yeah. Did you join Heaven's Gate this weekend, dude? What the hell? So yeah, this sounds really stable. Let's not forget he was alleged to have said that he claimed he was Jesus Christ by the parents of the girl that he appears to have absconded with into the ether. Miller is reportedly hiding from law enforcement after Chase Iron Eyes and Sarah Jumping Eagle were granted a protective order against the Flash star on behalf of their 18-year-old child, Dakota Iron Eyes. The couple alleges that the actor took advantage of their child since Dakota was 12 years old, engaging in cult-like and psychological manipulative controlling behavior. I think we just read an example of that. Iron Eyes and Jumping Eagle have stated that Miller provided their child with access to alcohol and drugs. I'm shocked. A Hollywood weirdo giving kids drugs and booze? Wow. Dakota has since defended Miller, claiming that their father is transphobic in a message posted to Instagram. Chase Iron Eyes and Sarah Jumping Eagle cast doubt on the legitimacy of the statement, revealing that Dakota doesn't have a phone. Despite the protective order, the court's authorities have yet to pin down Miller's location. They've been flighty, they've been avoiding service, and now there's public pressure mounting on them to make a decision, which makes us very concerned about Ezra's volatile nature. This isn't, according to Chase Iron Eyes. This isn't the first time Miller has sparked controversy. The actor made headlines in early 2022 when Ezra was arrested twice in Hawaii for harassment and assault. Remember, he threw a chair at some bitch's head and then robbed some other chick and her husband or whatever? Despite the actor's recent actions, Warner Brothers insists it has no plans to remove Miller from the role of Barry Allen in the DC Extended Universe. They are desperate to get that fucking movie done because they've already spent $200 million on it. Indeed, hey Camel. Hey, random American. Is he hiding behind a mental issue because of the grooming, or is he seriously defective? I'm not sure, but after watching the video of the cops trying to arrest him, where he kept talking about his gender and stuff like that, he came off as kind of unstable and drunk. But I couldn't tell if that was drugs or if he's got a mental issue. I'm not a licensed therapist or anything like that, but he looked fucking crazy to me. From the Los Angeles Times, as Ezra Miller grooming allegations deepen, court cannot locate or serve the actor. So he's gone radio dark here. They did obtain the protective order for this girl, adding another scandal to the embattled actor to contend with, but the teen's parents and law enforcement are having a hard time locating Miller to serve the actor with the order, which accuses Miller of psychological and emotionally abusing and grooming the teen. The fact that they got this order means they have some kind of evidence. It's not that easy to get a protective order, especially against a known person like a celebrity, because the reputational damage is pretty ugly and they would get their asses sued. So they either have really good evidence or a really willing court. Attorney and activist Chase Iron Eyes and his wife, Sarah Jumping Eagle, petitioned the Standing Rock Sioux Tribal Court on a reservation in North Dakota Tuesday to issue an order of protection for their child, Dakota Iron Eyes. They accused the 29-year-old Justice League star of psychologically manipulating, physically intimidating, and endangering the safety and welfare of Dakota Iron Eyes, according to court documents obtained Thursday by the Times. The tribal court judge approved the interim order Tuesday, but the court cannot locate or serve Miller, according to a copy of the petition. They need to hire Dog the Bounty Hunter. In a Thursday, nobody hired Dog the Bounty Hunter. That dude's weird. In a Thursday phone interview with the Times, Chase Iron Eyes said he and the court have no idea where Dakota and Ezra are to gain help from other jurisdictions to serve or enforce the order, which bars Miller from contacting or harassing Dakota and Chase Iron Eyes and Jumping Eagle for 30 days. Miller's also ordered to stay 100 yards away from the family's residence during that time. Lousy 100 yards? That dude's at the edge of your property. Come on. The court set a hearing for July 12th to allow Dakota and Miller to appear and weigh in. Iron Eyes said. According to Domestic Violence Protection Order, the court will grant the relief requested in a petition for a restraining order if Miller, who is non-binary and uses they, them pronouns, doesn't appear at the hearing. It cites the Federal Violence Against Women Act, which gives the order broad jurisdiction nationwide. Yay! This idiot is going to get himself in real trouble. They move around so much, we're stuck in this legal limbo situation, and we can't serve them in any place they're in long enough. They've been flighty, they've been avoiding service, and now there's public pressure mounting on them to make a decision, which makes us very concerned about Ezra's volatile nature. We're working very hard to get this order enforced wherever they are. Representatives from Miller did not respond to the Times request for comment. Anyone want to take bets they don't know where he is either? Because if you work for him and you're like his publicist or something, do you really want to be the one obstructing justice? Because guess what? He's going to cut you loose and you're going to go to jail. She's 18? Yeah. But if they don't think that she's mentally competent enough because of psychological manipulation, it doesn't matter. They can still get it because she's non-compos mentis. Ezra Miller's a piece of shit. Yep, I agree, Lindsay. How you doing, Lindsay? The family had previously tried to obtain a temporary guardianship for Dakota, as well as an order for a mental health evaluation in Vermont, where Miller has a home, according to documents reviewed by the Times. The family petition said they tried to serve Dakota in Vermont 3 times in May and also tried to serve the teen in California in late May. Iron Eyes and Jumping Eagle went to Santa Monica for a welfare check then, the petition said, and while there, Jumping Eagle alleged that Miller assaulted her. He does seem to like hitting women. He chokeslammed that chick in Iceland. He threw a chair at that other chick in Hawaii. And then he robbed some other chick and her husband of a passport and a wallet. So, seems to be a bit of a problem. They filed an incident report with Santa Monica Police. Dakota needs help without Ezra's interference. Ezra is a 29-year-old person who needs to get help on their own path and not interfere with Dakota's development as their own person. She's non-binary too, or trans, or one of them alphabet things. Iron Eyes told the Times that he and his wife first met Miller when the actor got involved in projects that the Sioux tribe were working on for the land back reclamation movement. Dakota and Miller allegedly met at the Standing Rock Reservation. That's the Keystone Pipeline. North Dakota in 2016 when Dakota was 12 and Miller was 23. Miller allegedly exhibited a pattern of corrupting a minor, the parents' petition said. According to the petition, Miller established contact with Dakota under the pretense of assisting the Standing Rock Sioux tribe during the No Dakota Access Pipeline movement and took an immediate and apparent innocent liking to Dakota Iron Eyes. Dakota Access, whatever, one of them pipelines. However, the relationship developed. Dakota's parents grew concerned for Dakota's safety and mental well-being and accused Miller of displaying cult-like and psychologically manipulative, controlling behavior. In the petition, they also accused the Fantastic Beast star of giving alcohol and drugs to her, such as marijuana and LSD, and flying Dakota to London, Vermont, New York, California, and Hawaii. Remember, she was allegedly with him during the Hawaii incidents. This gives more recap stuff, so I'll drop the links in the chat. Hey, Anthrax, how's it going, man? Oh, have fun, monkey. Hey, Common, how you doing, man? Doing daytime now? No, I'm just free. All right, there's the first article, but there's a new development, which we'll get to momentarily. Oh, thank you, Okie Native. Film some scenes where Barry enters the Speed Force for some reason, and Wally West pops out and he doesn't know Barry existed. To his POV, he entered the Speed Force in his universe and accomplished the goal. Easy way to write the nut job out of the movie, right? And I'm sorry, the way he runs, I watched the Snyder Cut a couple months ago. And the way Ezra runs looks like some sort of weird dance thing. Like he's almost like swimming. Normal people don't run like that. It's very surreal. I don't like it. All right, let's get to the new one. Oh, have fun, Retro. Hope everything goes well. Oh, have a good sleep, TOS. Hey, Costin, how's it going, man? But thank you, Oki. I think that's a brilliant way to do it. A Wally West movie would be way more interesting anyway. All right, the new drama is that Ezra's in some more trouble because a 12-year-old granted order of protection against Ezra Miller. This is from last night. Or yesterday, technically. Daily Beast did this. The Daily freaking Beast, which should be all about defending one of these weirdo types. But on Wednesday, a mother and her 12-year-old child traveled to their local courthouse in Greenfield, Massachusetts, and were granted a temporary harassment prevention order against Ezra Miller after alleging the actor menaced their family one evening in their downstairs neighbor's home and acted inappropriately toward the non-binary youngster. Seems to have some issues with non-binary people and people that appear to be feminine. Although 12-year-olds, I don't believe, are non-binary. I don't think that's not a real thing. Stop it. You're shit parents. The news comes on the heels of a number of other disturbing allegations that have surfaced against the 29-year-old, best known for their turn as the Flash in Justice League. Miller is also non-binary. Last week, the parents of an 18-year-old environmental activist, Dakota Iron Eyes, requested that a court issue a protective order against Miller, stating in the court documents that the actor met Dakota 6 years ago when she was 12 and Miller was 23. I can't do theys because this gets really freaking confusing if there's too many people involved in this. And Ezra uses violence, intimidation, threats of violence, fear, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the new one. Creator Mia Solange took to TikTok in April to accuse Miller of being an abuser, while the actor was arrested twice in Hawaii for disorderly conduct, harassment, and allegedly throwing a chair at a woman. On top of all that, in 2020, a video went viral of Miller attacking a young female fan in Iceland, though local authorities declined to investigate the incident. Well, I bet they feel kind of dumb now. In the Massachusetts case, the Daily Beast reviewed a copy of the protective order signed by a judge and spoke with the 12-year-old accuser, their mother, and another neighbor who was present. The case docket had not been posted at the court's online system, so the official complaint made by the child's mother was not available. I bet it'll be up on Monday. The Daily Beast also reviewed contemporaneous text messages sent by the mother and the neighbor, as well as photographs that corroborated parts of their accounts of the night in question, withholding names for privacy reasons. On the evening of February 2nd, the trio contend that Miller was present in the downstairs neighbor's home in Greenfield, which is located about 40 miles from the actor's ranch in Stamford, Vermont. That neighbor is in a band with Whitney Sutters, a musician who is close friends with Miller. Miller was wearing a bulletproof vest, and I had no idea until later that they were armed, recalls the visiting neighbor. Tensions began growing when the mother says she mentioned doing some traveling recently with her tribe of people, leading Miller to snap at her and accuse her of cultural appropriation. Then a conversation about board games allegedly went sideways when, after Miller claimed that the board game Parcheesi had Rastafarian roots. That's dumb. The visiting neighbor, who is half black, questioned Miller as to which sect of Rastafari movement it originated from. At this point, Ezra exploded and started screaming directly in my face, the visiting neighbor tells me. He sounds kind of racist to be shouting at a black guy. They said, "You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. What did you say to me? What did you just say to me?" Wow. It's kind of a sketchy thing to say to a black man, unless you're in like 1950s South. I was very caught off guard, the visiting neighbor continues. Then they opened up their jacket. They had this like big Sherpa jacket, and they opened it to one side of the jacket. You could see a gun. And they said, talking like that could get you into a really serious situation. He was ready to draw down on somebody for arguing about Parcheesi's Rastafarian roots. Yeah, that's a thing that apparently happened. Next, according to the visiting neighbor, the mother and the child, Miller focused their attention on the then 11-year-old, saying, "I've talked extensively with your child, and they have a lot of power to them. At one point, you're going to realize that you don't have any control over them anymore. They are an elevated being, and they would be lucky to have someone like me guide them." Anybody else think that sounds like he's going to bang this kid? They say Miller proceeded to turn to the mother, who dresses goth, and accused her of being a witch and a vampire, repeatedly yelling at her, "Do you want to drink my blood? Do you?" Okay. Miller then came back to the child and allegedly began pestering them with compliments, at one point moving their chair closer to them, uncomfortably hugging them and touching their hips, requesting that they add the actor on Instagram, and telling the child, who expressed their interest in horses, that Ezra would acquire several horses and the child could help care for the herd on Ezra's Vermont farm. They automatically were just weirdly drawn to me and kept talking about how they love my outfit and they love my style, and kept going on and about how it was great. The child remembers it was really uncomfortable. I was really nervous. I was scared to be around them after he'd yelled at my mother and she was crying. Notice even the kid, who's supposedly non-binary, screwed up and said he in here. Nice job, kid. It's not totally fake at all. The mother and visiting neighbor both believed that Miller had been under the influence due to their dilated pupils and erratic behavior. Miller apologized for the outburst before returning to the home on June 4th, dressed as a cowboy without incident. And ever since Dakota Iron Eyes news broke, however, they haven't seen or heard from them since. Representative for Miller could not be reached for comment. So we got some more allegations of really creepy fucking behavior from Ezra Miller, who sounds like a deranged weirdo. He's probably upset the Iceland chick was in 12, right? Sucks he's a piece of shit. I thought he was a pretty good actor. I haven't seen much of his work, but he seems like an okay actor, but he does seem a little nutso in the brain box. Batshit insane. That's some grade A guano. Yeah, that is really, really weird stuff. So that's the Ezra update. 2 restraining orders now. One from a tribal court, one from a Massachusetts judge. So hopefully with both of those, they'll be able to team up and find this clown and serve him. Because I think that kid that's with him might be in some actual danger. Well, she's 18, but I think she might be in some real danger, especially if she's been under his influence for that long. I think there's some serious psychological issues that need addressed, just from a layman's standpoint, or at least some drug issues. So I don't know, man. Deb got canned on accusations alone. Yeah, that's not whataboutism, because it keeps happening. They seem to protect a lot of these weirdos. They're probably worried they're going to get called transphobic or non-binary phobic or whatever the fuck. But if this guy hurts somebody, they may be on the hook for that in some regard, because they're the deep pockets. They'll be like, look, this guy, he's unstable, and they knew about it, and they're going to dig up every single email between Warner Brothers execs, DC, and Discovery. Zaslav would be smart to cut this dude loose and just write that movie off as a fucking loss. I don't care if they are in for $200 million. If this guy ends up hurting someone, that movie's going to be a giant freaking albatross around their neck. Are the studio miss this behavior, or they just don't care? I think they just don't care. This didn't just pop up. He's been a pain in the ass on the movie sets. Yeah, that's what everybody says. The Flash movie, they've had to redo a bunch of scenes apparently because of his on-set behavior. Hey, Cannibal, how's it going? Think LaBeouf would win in a fight? Dude looks like he's seen some shit. Oh, yeah, absolutely. If they fought, I would put money on Shia LaBeouf in a second. At least that dude's in some pretty decent shape, and he looks like he's more controlled crazy. He's a chubby chaser. He is, from the look of it. The hell is wrong with this weirdo kid? They got to get rid of him. Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, bro. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I'm a little worried about that Dakota girl's safety. So if I was her parents, I don't blame them for filing a restraining order. It's good luck enforcing it. He's got money and access, and he could be anywhere. And those cryptic Instagram posts that he took down taunting the cops, that's some really weird off-the-wall shit. He's either on a lot of drugs or having some kind of psychotic break that he may or may not be taking meds for. I don't know, but it looks bad. And Warner Brothers and Discovery need to get this behind them if they want to not burn a lot of bridges and reputation. So I don't know. I hope the kid shows up safe though. She probably needs some treatment too. All right, let's talk Star Wars, because the official Star Wars account did something really sketchy today or yesterday. Yeah, this is from today. Official Star Wars Twitter account gives approval to dogpiling a fan who responded to Pride Month cover by asking for franchise to remain apolitical. There's more of us. Despite the brand's constant virtue signaling against harassment and bullying, the official Star Wars Twitter has given approval to its followers running a fan off the social media platform after said fan responded to the account's sharing of a Pride Month cover of a Marvel Star Wars comic by asking the franchise to remain apolitical. That's too much to ask, apparently. I would ask them not to share this because it's dog shit art. Look, generic Wonder Girl. You know this is a Mary Sue. Side of the head shaved, dyed hair, strong woman. Kind of surprised this girl wasn't up there because it's usually the people of color that get the prominent position. Promoting the issue's release the same day on June 14th. Okay, this was a few days ago. The official Star Wars Twitter account shared the standard cover of the 24th issue of Marvel's Star Wars Bounty Hunters as drawn by Jan Bazaladua and featuring lesbian partners Tonga and Losha, and asked readers to celebrate hashtag Pride Month by grabbing the issue. That's because their sales are dog shit and they need as much as possible. Amidst an outpouring of both support and criticism for its sentiment, user FM replied, I'm not remembering all that shit, replied to the tweet with the assertion, "Don't make Star Wars political." Singling FM out of the crowds of many who were making the same request, the official Star Wars Twitter then fired back, 1, queer characters existing isn't political. This is political. Moving to present the tired and disingenuous argument that the presence of political themes are exactly the same thing as overt political soapboxing. Great phraseology. They added 2, Star Wars is literally in our name. Yeah, but this is political soapboxing. Look, there's even a literal box there. Ugh, lazy. Their account brought attention to Star Wars' numerous stans who were a bunch of psychopaths. Like, I would swear some of the Star Wars stans, because they're a bunch of phony nerds with way too much free time on their hands, they're as bad as K-pop fans. FM was soon inundated with both accusations of bigotry and further attempts to run with the official accounts above attempt to redefine the colloquial use of political. Star Wars' existence is purely because of politics, wrote Tyler. People just hate the LGBTQ plus for whatever reason and make shit up to justify their hate. A sad, sad life to live. No, it's because you guys have shit writers who constantly beat you over the head with the message as if I was reading a Bible book. Like, if I want Bible quotes, I can go read a Bible. This is the same type of shit. It's so heavy-handed. And then Carl said, "Oh, look, another person confusing political with challenging my myopic, likely bigoted worldview." Way to hedge your bets with likely there after you called him myopic. I just know that Kathleen sat down this year and said, "You know what? This franchise isn't taking shit from its fans anymore," praised Tay. And here we are, a based response from the official Twitter. "Damn, Finley," said Drew McWeeny. "You just got bodied by Star Wars. That was straight up humiliating, dude. Congrats on never understanding the media you consume." Ultimately, in the face of the outpouring of condemnation, FM deleted their Twitter account. In support of one such tweet that the account eventually approved of this pile-on. Retweeting the official Star Wars account initial call-out of FM, Pink Milk exclaimed, "Thank you, Star Wars. Thank you, Lucasfilm, for getting ready to box," they continued. "Thank you, KK, for enough is enough. Star Wars is for everyone. Doesn't work if we just stand by." Wait a minute. If it's for everyone, why are you all dogpiling this guy? Because that would imply that it's not for everyone. "Thank you, Star Wars, for not standing by anymore." In turn, the official Star Wars account proudly proclaimed, "There are more of us." Yeah, that's encouragement. You're encouraging people to go after some rando on Twitter who's probably, college age and is like, "I got better shit to do than deal with this shit." The account would reiterate this stance to user something, whatever, ostensibly in response to a video shared by multiple users wherein She can be seen responding to the assertion by popular fandom YouTuber Star Wars Theory that if we're getting Star Wars, it has to be perfect, by declaring that he sounds like an ungrateful little child. Tweeting at that person, independent of any particular thread, the official Star Wars account once again announced, there are more of us. Yeah, you're just bullies now. So the official Star Wars is just into bullying for some reason. That's pretty disgusting. It's for everyone except the people we don't like or that disagree with us. I dare you not ingest the BS we're trying to force feed you. Exactly, Pat. Exactly. That's fucking childish. Hey, Angela, how you doing? Star Wars will never be the same because of social media. Yeah, that is a problem. I don't know. There seems to be a lot going on here. And Star Wars really seems to be doubling down. Disney in general seems to be doubling down more and more on crazy crap. And they're not going to turn it around. So let's talk about Disney, since they seem to hate their fans quite a bit. Hey, Grisella, how you doing, man? Yeah, their comics are definitely not for everyone anymore, because Marvel really seems to hate its general fan base. They've been working hard to ditch them for years, and that's why their sales are in the toilet. Same with DC. All right, let's laugh at Disney for a minute. From Cinema Blend, Walt Disney World dealing with another lawsuit after woman dies following accident on resort property. This is from June 16th, 17th. Millions of people from all over the world visit Walt Disney World every year, and many of the people on property at any given time, accidents happen. For the most part, these incidents go unnoticed unless they involve fire trucks on Main Street, USA. Every once in a while, there's a situation that results in a lawsuit, and sometimes, tragically, there are incidents that result in death. Now, Disney World is dealing with a lawsuit over a death that occurred last year due to an injury allegedly received on resort property. According to Florida Politics, travel agent Jessica Strubb was at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort in December 2020 when she fell and hit her head. Strubb died 4 days later due to blunt head trauma from falling at a standing height, according to the medical examiner. That sucks. A lawsuit against Disney World has now been filed by Justin Morrison, the victim's brother. No documentation pertaining to the incident has been released by Disney World yet, so we have no other details regarding exactly what happened, but clearly Morrison believes the theme park resorts is somehow liable in some aspect that led to an accident taking place, or perhaps decisions made in the aftermath of this. This isn't the first time Disney's been sued for a death. There was a woman that disappeared off one of their cruise ships, and she apparently is dead because nobody's ever found her, and the crew apparently may have deleted all the video, and Disney's been very uncooperative about the whole thing, and they've said they've been cooperative, but they haven't. So this isn't the first time there's been a suspicious death. Lawsuit following accidents on Walt Disney World property are certainly not uncommon. A recent accident involving a Disney World cast member resulted in a significant OSHA fine. Whoops. While such accidents are rare, when you consider just how many people visit the resort, when they do happen, often on attractions, there are usually a lawsuit involved. We rarely hear about such lawsuits going to court, however, as they're almost always settled out of court, or Disney will bury you in paperwork. They will destroy everybody they can rather than look bad. They will try and run you out of money. Death at Disney World is a tough subject. There are often repeated claims that nobody's ever died at a Disney resort, and the company will even go to extreme lengths to make that case. While it does not appear that this woman died on property, she died days after the fall. Though the location is not clear, there have been deaths at Disney World at each one, and each one is terrible. You fucked up there. That shouldn't be there. In December last year, it was revealed a guest had a heart attack while at the Contemporary Resort. That's not Disney's fault. Well, that was a random event. It was no less tragic. At this time, it appears that first responders at the Reedy Creek Improvement District, the municipal district that encompasses Walt Disney World, for now, were short-staffed, and the resort had some degree has been to some degree since reopening following the pandemic closure. They're short-staffing their emergency response. That is lawsuit worthy. We'll be keeping an eye on this to see if more details are publicly released to shed some light on why the accident necessitated a lawsuit. This will be an interesting one to follow because he's got to have some kind of evidence, but I bet they're going to bury him in paperwork, which is usually Disney's tactic. Wrong, she died on the property. They just moved her. Yeah, she died as a result of an injury on the property. So if it was negligence, then yeah, they're going to have a good lawsuit. Yeah, now Disney's going to have to deal with the state police. Yeah, it's going to make them harder. It's going to make it harder for Disney to cover stuff up. Because as it is now, if somebody dies, they can take them out through the tunnels and stuff like that. But if they're doing that with sick people and it delays their treatment, that could be a real issue because the state can't afford to do that. Oh, not bad, fucktard. How you doing? Wrong handle there. Wrong channel. But good to see it, man. So yeah, another weird Disney thing. But we're not done with Disney just yet. So yeah, we got a little bit more here. Not only is their Twitter account attacking people, not only are they getting sued a lot, and this time for a death, which, you know, pretty suspicious stuff. But there's a few other things going on. It also appears that Disney stock closed under $100 for the first time in years. This was on the 14th, same day that lawsuit was filed, probably unrelated though. Walt Disney Company's stock extended its precipitous fall this week, falling 9% to settle at $99.40 on Friday, the first time the company has closed below $100 in more than 2 years. Following a big shakeup at the company's executive offices, Disney shares have taken a huge hit this week. CEO Bob Chapek abruptly fired his chosen successor, Peter Rice, last Thursday, shocking the entertainment industry and leaving Disney employees in disbelief. Yeah, there was rumor going around that Peter Rice was going to replace Chapek, and he was a pseudo successor. Well, he fired that guy and put in the chick that said they turned down a bunch of show ideas because they weren't diverse enough, even though they were good ideas. They turned them down based sheerly on lack of melanin and alphabet soup. WDW always moves the dead off property. Keep no one. Yeah, absolutely. It was back in April 2020. Disney shares fell below $100 for the first time. It would appear the Magic Kingdom, or as Breitbart calls it, Tragic Kingdom, is still recovering from its battle with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over the state's parental rights and education law, which prohibits the teaching of sexuality and gender ideology to children in kindergarten through third grade, including transgenderism. Which, remember, Disney was all about teaching kids about sex, like K through 3. That's pretty fucking weird. So then it dropped to this on the 10th. Well, I looked it up earlier this morning, and it's actually lower now. Now it's at 94.28 as of this morning, which was before opening. So let's actually do something live here and look up Disney's stock price. We're doing it live. All right. Come on, load. Stupid thing. It looks like right now it's at 94.34. $94.34 based on Google result. That's not real good. So it's dropped even more since this was done. The Bechdel test. So yeah, Disney stock is going down. It looks like their smart decision making over the scuffle with Ron DeSantis firing a potential threat to Bob Chapek's power base, instituting a known wokester, and then getting sued might not be helping them. All right, let's take a look at some weird comic book news. Oh, yeah, we're at the hour, so it's time to shill first. Thank you guys for supporting the show. If you're enjoying it, please hit the like button, share if you feel like it, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you're feeling generous, you can donate to me at the Streamlabs link. Helps the show go and helps me eat and pay my bills. Disney stocks are going down like old stocks. Yeah, that's a pretty impressive decline for Disney. $94. Ooh. All right. Let's look at this political comic book. This is from Phoenix New Times. Forget the Joker and Doc Ock. Arizona Republican David Schweitzer is a supervillain in new comic book. This, I think, is actually a fairly interesting way to market yourself. This is from June 6th, so it's a little old. I try, Verl. I try. There's a new supervillain in town, and he's terrorizing the people of Arizona. At least that's the case according to new campaign literature coming from Elijah Norton, a political newcomer and entrepreneur from Scottsdale seeking to unseat U.S. Representative David Schweikart this year's Republican primary. During the election season, Arizona voters have come to expect unsolicited phone calls, emails, and canvassers at their doorsteps. They may not, however, expect a political comic book to arrive in the mail alongside routine credit card bills and packages from Amazon. So if you live in Arizona's newly drawn 1st Congressional District, which encompasses parts of North Phoenix and North Scottsdale, Cave Creek, and Fountain Hills, there's a good chance your postal carrier will soon deliver that political product to your mailbox. Nearly 1 in 3 households in the reliably Republican district will receive a comic book in the mail this week from Norton's campaign. Like Superman or X-Men, this graphic depicts the dealings of a supervillain, but it's not Lex Luthor or Magneto. It's shady Schweikart, besmirched caricature of the incumbent congressman clad in an orange jumpsuit and blue baby bonnet. Those 6 pages of sequential storytelling, shady Schweikart accepts illegal campaign contributions and writes himself a fake loan, blowing the cash on first-class flights, tickets to the Super Bowl, and fancy dinners. He's ridiculed by prominent Democrats and Republicans, including the rest of Arizona's Republican congressional delegation, Paul Gozer, Andy Biggs, and Debbie Lesko. Then the cartoon shows him getting thrown in a jail cell, all while a star-spangled Uncle Sam slowly changes his opinion of the 6th-term congressman from skeptical naivete to one of total disdain, ultimately deeming the miscreant corrupt. They're grasping at straws, Chris Baker, Schweikart's political consultant, told Phoenix New Times. We would expect nothing less than a comic from a joke of a candidate and a joke of a campaign. Hey, fuck you, dude. Comics are not a joke. They are serious business. It really is the case of a fool and his money. I think this is actually a pretty interesting strategy. They should have made it a full-length comic book and given it away at campaign events. I think that probably would have gone a lot further because a comic book can change hands. It's sort of like if you're a new business person, instead of getting business cards, make pens with your contact information and your business name. And people will steal those all day long. Banks do it. It's brilliant because everybody could use a pen. And you give like 5 of them to every delivery guy that comes to your door. Those things will be all over the place in a week. The comic book plot centers around scoundrels from Schweikart's 30-year career as a lawmaker. He's painted as a criminal, but has never been convicted of a crime. No, that was shady Schweikart, a different person, clearly. Elijah Norton has shown already that he can't be straight with voters, and this is just another example. We're confident voters will see Norton for who he is. And Norton would have you think otherwise. So yeah, there's some political shit in here, but the important thing is there's this obscure comic book out here that could be a collector's item if this dude wins. So it was apparently given away as a promo thing. There's probably only 10,000 of these in existence, which is more than copies of Cyberfrog 2 right now. So even a political guy could get a comic out before Ethan Van Sciver. But that's neither here nor there. So there you go. An obscure political comic that will probably become a collector's item somewhere down the line. So I thought that was interesting. It's kind of weird. So just wanted to throw that into the mix. All right, let's laugh at GameStop because what a silly place. It's widely known that GameStop sucks to work at. You might have a good manager, but your district manager is likely a complete and total jackass. And people get fired for the most trivial things. They blame the employees for everything. It's a horrible place to work. There used to be bulletin boards all around too, on the old days of the internet, bitching about working at GameStop. I've worked at GameStop for a couple years. I was a part-timer. I didn't work very much, but the store I worked at had great employees, but the DM was constantly fucking over the manager. That dude's blood pressure must have been probably 150, something ridiculous, I'm sure. But he loved his job. The DM just was constantly on him about stuff. And I get it. They got the DMs by the short and curlies too. But that's the reason to be an asshole. So this article dropped in Fortune magazine, fortune.com. We regret to inform you that we all quit. 2 GameStop stores have had 4 mass resignations in the past year. Customers looking to buy a video game or console at GameStop's Gateway Mall store in Lincoln, Nebraska, one day earlier this month found a locked door and a sign from the location's frustrated former employees. The 4 workers had quit suddenly after what they described as 3 months of being mistreated and berated, said Frank Maurer, the sign's writer and former store leader. We regret to inform you that we quit. Our district manager has no respect for us as employees or as human beings. The sign posted on June 5th read. The statement was followed by a list of other retail gaming competitors in the region. Spend your money at an establishment that respects its employees. Which was 3 months before a lot of us even got we have been told by our district manager that we were supposed to have had this store achieving sales quotas and running perfectly for 6 months, which was 3 months before a lot of us even got hired. Unfortunately, despite the staff's best efforts, we are not God. Yeah, they expect you to have, their goals are crazy too. Totally unrealistic. So they list 3 competitors for you to go spend your money at. A history of worker mistreatment. Former employees at the city's only 2 GameStop stores at the Gateway Mall and South Point Pavilions claim the video game retailer has a history of overworking staff and setting unachievable performance targets. That's been the same for a decade now. They've always done this. And it appears to be the goals are set by upper management who've never worked in a store and are probably only going to be at the company for a few years before they use it as a stepping stone to get somewhere else. And they want those performance goals met so they can look like they achieved something under their reign. And that's their basis for getting hired at another company. Most people don't stay at companies anymore. There's nobody staying 30 years at a place. Hey, Eagle. Hey, nobody. Oh, you're talking to Quippers. Hey, Quippers. How's it going, man? I'm smart. All right. The walkouts claiming the video game retailer has a history of overworking staff and setting unachievable performance targets. June's walkout followed at least 3 previous mass resignations across the 2 stores in recent months. After each mass resignation, employees said GameStop replaced the staff with new hires or brought in recently hired workers from other locations. The first mass resignation was at Gateway Mall last summer when the entire staff filed their 2 weeks notice around the same time. In February, 4 GameStop workers at South Point Pavilions also put in their 2 weeks notice and left shortly after. One of the employees who resigned told Fortune, The former employee who worked at GameStop for 4 years cited poor management, low pay, and push down from the top among the reasons for the employees' coordinated resignations. The fact the employees are coordinating this is actually pretty impressive because getting anyone to agree on anything anymore is pretty difficult. And yeah, their pay sucks. It all stems down from the top. The top keeps barking down the ladder, and the ladder is crumbling, said an employee who would only speak on anonymity owing to fears of hurting future job prospects. They will do that too. I've heard from friends of mine that have worked at GameStop that they spoke out once too many times, and GameStop gave them a bad recommendation. Then in March, the South Point Pavilion store was hit again when the 3 employees walked out publicly, posting a sign on the storefront that said, "We regret to inform you that we have all quit." That's what I just read a minute ago. Thank you for reiterating that. GameStop's district manager for the Lincoln stores did not respond to Fortune's 2 requests for comment on the criticism from former employees. A spokesman for GameStop declined to comment. The former GameStop employee from the South Point Pavilion store told Fortune he had noticed a shift in atmosphere at the company after the retailer pivoted toward a digital focus several years ago. The company started asking its staff to push its video games and hardware warranties on customers at $15 to $20 annual memberships for its Power Up Rewards loyalty program, rather than helping shoppers with in-store purchases and recommending games. Yeah, the Power Ups rewards thing, you could get in trouble for not having enough memberships. Like, we were constantly like, all right, I made quota. Come over here and fill this one out under your login so that everybody could get theirs. We had to coordinate it, or one person would hog a bunch of them, and it ended up being backbiting and fighting. And pushing those stupid-ass warranties, it became we're going to take advantage of the fact that you love video games and you want to work in this industry, and we're going to just make you pump out numbers, the employees said, describing the company's change in focus. If you don't get those numbers, you are replaceable by the next teenager who wants to work in the games industry. First of all, GameStop is not a stepping stone to the games industry. I hate to break it to you. If I'm being treated like real bad, I'm not giving 2 weeks notice. Yeah, life's too short for that shit. Somebody will give you a job. I walked out of a job because my manager said he didn't care about my hard work. Yeah, I've done that too. It's one thing that always confused me about the Wall Street Bets incident. They were pretending that GameStop was a good company. It was always awful. You're not wrong, Quippers. You are not wrong. Cal Notroa, former GameStop store manager, walked off the job at the South Point Pavilion's location in March. He attributed his departure to the workplace's toxic environment and lofty performance goals that included selling warranties to over 50% of the people that walked in. When those targets weren't met, the district manager would go ballistic. Yeah, our DM used to do the same thing. If you didn't sell, our goal back then was around this as well. 50% is unrealistic because it's like $3 at the time to get a warranty. Most people were just buying games for their kids. They didn't, first of all, understand it. Even if you tried to explain it, they didn't care. They just wanted to buy the thing and go. Unless they got the red ring of death or the disc burn, then they didn't really give a shit. And disc burn is your own fucking fault. The district, by the way, that was exempted from the warranty because you did it. It wasn't a defective thing. District manager would just show up one day and come and take a look at the store and then yell at me and tell me I was doing a terrible job, or yell at my employees in front of me. That sounds right. Sam Buckner, a former senior game advisor at the South Point Pavilion store, who also walked out in March, said only 3 to 4 customers typically came in daily during his 5 to 9 shift. But the district manager sent emails multiple times questioning why sales were slow. Yeah, you can't force people to come in the door. And that's because the district manager is getting this from on high too. It's a trickle down. Everybody is shitting on the person below them. And that's the company culture, it seems. It seems to be an accepted thing. A few days before Buckner, Notaro, and another South Point staff member walked out, the district manager said he could replace them with 18-year-olds who could do the job better and be paid less, according to Notaro, a phrase they had heard many times before in reference to the note left on the store's door. On the morning of the walkout, Notaro recalled that the district manager had given him an ultimatum to fire both of his employees by the end of the week. By that evening, Buckner had written the walkout note. I don't blame him, because what's the point? If you fire both your employees, that means you have to work until you find replacements, and then you have to train them. So he's going to work open to close every day until he gets somebody trained? Fuck that. I was not about to run a one-man show. There you go. A large portion of the reason why we decided to just walk out and put up the note was that people could actually understand, rather than it just being like, oh, the entire staff has changed again. Instead, it was like, hey, we're changing for a reason. Employees felt bogged down for other reasons as well. Staff made minimum wage, $9 per hour in Nebraska, or barely above it, and up to $13 an hour for an assistant manager, according to Notaro. Yeah, that's about what it was where I worked. Moorer, the author of the Sign at Gateway Mall store, worked at GameStop for about 9 months before quitting. He was promoted to store leader after the employee at South Point resigned, and Notaro left to manage that store along with all but one of Gateway's employees, requiring Maurer to train a new crew. I was having to train 4 people with pretty much no training of my own, he said. He added that the district manager denied his multiple requests for additional staffing and training. As a result, he worked 2.5 weeks without a day off to try and train everybody as a one-man army, Maurer said. Despite the efforts, Maurer said the district manager visited in April and yelled at the staff for not putting in the work, leaving the assistant manager in tears. Eventually, Maurer said to himself, I can't do it anymore because the stress level was literally killing me. The decision to quit without telling this district manager and leave the note came down to a unanimous group vote of store employees, according to Maurer. In drafting the note, he said he wanted to reflect on his moral issue with the retailer and differentiate itself from the South Point note, which referred to customers to other GameStop location at the Gateway Mall. Instead, Maurer listed some other local competitors, thinking that a big reason why people go to GameStop is that you don't really know of any other game stores in town. Yeah, mom and pop shops get forgotten about. After walking out, the employees locked the store's doors and made sure everything was secure before tossing the keys inside. Later that day, Maurer received his only contact with the company. The loss prevention manager wanted to know where the keys were. An employee at Gateway Mall's GameStop location confirmed over the phone to Fortune that the location reopened within a day of the walkout. Yeah, the district manager probably caught shit for that, though, because if everybody walked out at once without telling him, that's going to come back on him when that store's not open, because he's the one that the mall is going to call for, why isn't your store open? Though GameStop's walkouts have been concentrated in Lincoln, Maurer said a lot of the problems that we're having come from a fundamental company issue. Rather than focusing on frontline workers, corporate executives have prioritized raising profits and making shareholders happy. You can do both. If you have a good company environment, it does reflect well on your sales because your happy employees work harder. You start to get the feeling that when walking in the store that the corporate entity is a complete disconnect from the store level. Following news of Gateway Mall walkout, former employees across the country have used social media to complain about similar conditions at the retailer. I haven't heard one good GameStop employee experience, and if they exist, they're overshadowed by thrice as many bad ones, one user wrote on Twitter. Thrice, really? You were an English major. That is 100% the case at GameStop. Me and my coworkers recently walked out because of how poor we were treated and the gross abuse of power from our regional director, another tweeted. I wanted to quit GameStop because I had a really good boss and I really didn't give a fuck about that job. It was a nice way to make a couple extra bucks, but nothing I really needed. And my actual store manager was a really cool dude. We got along great. He got mad at me once for a semi-legitimate reason. It was probably legitimate. I'm just saying that. But otherwise, we got along great. Great dude. Had some great employees. But, yep, corporate would shit on him constantly. And I'm surprised he didn't have a nervous breakdown because most people would have. My current employer said I was suspended, that I had 3 days off without pay. Mind you, the write-up wasn't written and was told it would be ready upon my return. It wasn't. So currently looking for a lawyer. Oh, dude, good luck, James. That sucks. This is going to happen all over. It could, Eagle. This could really inspire a lot of employees to just walk off. If they coordinate, look, I understand people need jobs, especially in this economy, but GameStop might not survive a recession anyway. They have not adapted well to current video game stuff. They've tried. They've had a little bit of good bursts with that stupid stock buy thing that made a bunch of people rich. Not the people involved, but everybody else. Miami's nice, I'll say it thrice. That rhymes. You're a poet and don't know it. The only real competition in my town are the big chain stores, and the only comic shop we have tries to sell used video games for retail prices. That's dumb. That's real dumb. Oh, sorry, Ginger. Got the other screen up here. Give it a second to switch. Thank you, Ginger Power, for that donation. Have some money. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is 100% the case. Another tweet said, oh yeah, I read that one. Before the pandemic and during it, GameStop's business was under intense pressure because of the increasing shift by gamers to shop online rather than in person. The company responded by closing more than 1,000 stores since the pandemic began. GameStop has not turned a profit since 2017 and went through 5 CEOs in the span of 15 months. Then last year, online investors banded together to send GameStop's listless stock soaring from single digits to $483 at one point, where everybody cashed out and made a pile of money, or they were stupid and held it. Stock closed Wednesday at around $129 a share, which is overvalued in my opinion. That meme stock craze, Buckner said, seemed to go to management's head, but it did not really translate into increased sales at the store level. But they raised their expectations, I bet. Still, since the start of the meme stock craze, Maurer said that he knows corporate seems less concerned about any of the complaints or concerns of its workers. If more stores walk out like this and make a show of it, it will start to affect their bottom line. Because customers are going to assume they're unreliable and start looking elsewhere. Maurer added, I think that as an investor, as a partial owner of the company, in effect, if you hear these horror stories, for lack of a better term, that's something I would be concerned with. I personally would not want to hold stock in any company that treated their employees like that. Yeah, the way they shit on their employees is well beyond egregious, if you ask me. But it's not surprising. The corporate culture over there at GameStop has been like this for a long time. You saw how many CEOs they went through in 15 months, which is really disgusting. So it's not surprising at all that people are walking off. The fact they're coordinating like this tells you how bad it really is. And I don't blame the employees at all. I think it's actually a pretty smart way to do it. Hey, Viking. Good morning to you, too. Oh, the night off. Wow. You should do something, I don't know, something. Like watching this show. And hit the like button. Share it on your social media. Subscribe if you have it. Ring that bell for notifications. And if you're feeling generous, like Ginger Power was, you can, and Oki and Ceradamantine and Tall Person, all were very generous, and you can donate to the Streamlabs link going through the chat now, pin it at the top of your chat and in the description. All right, shilling's over. Try and keep that painless, but times are tough. Got to do it a lot. All right, over at CBR, we learn about an interesting casting for Wolverine for one of their audiobooks. Robert Patrick will make fans lose it, says Marvel Wastelanders director. He's not playing him in the movies. He's doing an audio story. And you know what? I could kind of see it. He's got a good voice for it. Robert Patrick casting as Wolverine, Old Man Logan, in Marvel's Wastelanders is going to make fans lose it. Marvel recently announced the return of Wastelanders, an original scripted podcast that comes from Marvel Entertainment and SiriusXM. The series stars Robert Patrick as Wolverine, a casting decision Hall said fans are going to love. You can't stop listening to his gritty timbre. He is Wolverine, and Logan's story here will shock you to your core. Ooh, shock me to my core. I don't know about that. Marvel's Wastelanders Wolverine is the 4th installment in the Wastelanders audio epic following Marvel's Wastelanders Star-Lords and Marvel's Wastelander Hawkeye and Marvel Wastelanders Black Widow, set in a post-apocalyptic future of 2008's Old Man Logan storyline in which supervillains have won and killed off the majority of superheroes. In this one, the titular Weapon X character tried to take down longtime Captain America villain Red Skull, who has declared himself president of the United States. Since that day, a traumatized Wolverine has wandered in a daze of survivor's guilt and self-loathing over his failure to protect his fellow X-Men and their mutant students. Wolverine encounters Sophia, a young mutant in hiding, and vows to transport her into the safe hands of estranged former X-Men Kitty Pryde and Rachel Summers. When the Red Skull and his top lieutenant Crossbones frame Wolverine and escalate anti-mutant sentiment to dangerous new levels, our hero realizes his only option may be to face Red Skull and his savage allies head on. But a shocking, terrible truth may destroy Wolverine first. I don't know who these other people are that are in it, so I'm not going to bother. But it's a 10-episode series, and the first episode is already out. So if you're interested, there you go. That might be something worth tracking down. Funny, Peter. All right, so I thought that was interesting casting, and I haven't heard any of the audio stuff, but I've heard good things. So might be worth checking out if you're really into Old Man Logan. All right, let's talk video games for a minute. Now, over at The Verge, we are learning that Activision Blizzard investigated Activision Blizzard and found Activision Blizzard didn't do anything wrong. Shocking. Amid the news of Overwatch 2 and Diablo Immortal, Activision Blizzard has filed a document with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in which it affirms that after an internal investigation, it concluded its own board did not fail to act when presented with allegations of harassment. Contrary to many of the allegations, the board and external advisors have determined that there is no evidence to suggest that Activision Blizzard senior executives ever intentionally ignored or attempted to downplay instances of gender harassment that occurred and were reported. Oh, well, you can just dismiss those lawsuits now then. The report does acknowledge that there were problems within the community in the company, and that such a conclusion does little to address the concerns of those harmed. Indeed, a single instance of someone feeling diminished at Activision Blizzard is one too many, it wrote. However, in a report from one of the consultants, Activision Blizzard engaged to review harassment filings, and the company's response document said, based on the volume of reports, the amount of misconduct reflected a comparatively low for a company the size of Activision Blizzard. It's kind of strange to say in one breath, one is too many, and then cite a consultant saying it could have been worse. Oh, it could have been worse. One is too many, but 10 is worse. Duh. The filing continues with the program that companies have implemented to make restitution. It cites the addition of a new diversity and inclusion executive, a program designed to train and attract employees from underrepresented areas, and an $18 million compensation fund established for its settlement with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC. Call of Duty alone made the company $3 billion. Yeah, well, you're only getting $18 million, suckers. But in another example of you just can't not say that, the company took a swipe at the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, which tried to block the EEOC settlement since it might release the company from the state's own case against it and the media. It must be said the company has been subject to unrelenting barrage of media criticism that attempts to paint the entire company and many innocent employees with the stain of a very small portion of our employee population who engaged in bad behavior and were disciplined for it. Much of this originated with the highly inflammatory made-for-press allegations of the DFEH. Yeah, it does look that way, that this was a small group of people engaged in this, and the media has unfairly tarnished Activision Blizzard. I mean, some of those allegations were pretty credible. Others were complete dog shit and waste of time. And the fact that California sued them is kind of stupid, but it's California. What do you expect? The more I read about it, the stupider that whole fiasco sounded. I guess there's a new allegation cropping up almost daily with stories of stolen breast milk, alcohol-fueled cube crawls. That's that stupid frat boy behavior. That should have been kiboshed. The stolen breast milk thing is gross and weird. Don't do that. The now infamous Cosby Suite. It was Crosby Suite because they can't spell. The fact that the CEO likely knew about all of it. The board's patent refusal to disavow said CEO despite employee objections, Grow up. 3 employee walkouts. A strike, and let's not forget the persistent instances of union busting. Don't blame them. Unions are death knell for companies, for which there are at least 2 National Labor Relations Board complaints. Boo-hoo, grow up. It could get pretty unrelenting. It's us. Blah, I don't care. They're boo-hoo. Blizzard obviously isn't going to find problems within their own house. That's just common sense. Hey, Raziel, how you doing? So, yeah, Blizzard self-examined, found nothing wrong. There probably is some problems with Blizzard. I don't doubt that at all. Some of those lawsuits were probably warranted. Some of them are kind of stupid. Some of the complaints were dumb and sounded made up. They were desperately wanted some Me Too nonsense, it sounds like. All right, let's look at another rumor. An unnecessary sequel. This comes from Cosmic Book News. Joker 2, Lady Gaga confirmed in talks for Harley Quinn. Said to be a musical sequel. Isn't she kind of old for that? Like, seriously? And kind of fat, let's be real. Following my article, now it's confirmed that Lady Gaga is indeed in talks for Joker 2 to play Harley Quinn. And that's not all, as it's claimed the flick is a musical sequel. Among things that I didn't need in my life, this ranks up there. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. I liked the first movie, but it didn't need a sequel. Not everything needs a sequel. In their report posted hours after my own, the Hollywood Reporter offers up Lady Gaga as in early talks to join Joaquin Phoenix, and that director and co-writer Todd Phillips has finally shown the script to the studio, which was teased on social media with the official title, Joker, Folie à Deux, and the image of Joaquin Phoenix. It's actually said that Phoenix is in talks for a return to Joker 2 as well, and that Warner Brothers and Phoenix have yet to close the deal, the two sides are deep into it. Well, hopefully he doesn't go off the deep end like Ezra Miller. Regarding Lady Gaga, details on her character are being kept under wraps, but if she does get cast, said Lady Gaga will play a version of Harley Quinn, which, just as I said, would be a different version than the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn, which was featured in Suicide Squad and that Birds of Prey shit-tastic film. It's also said it's unclear whether Phillips is going to use existing DC characters for the sequel or strike out on his own, as he said many times with the first movie. Phoenix's Arthur Fleck is an original character for the film. Yeah, he's also significantly older than Bruce Wayne, and that's a change too, because by the time Bruce Wayne's old enough to fight him, this dude's going to be like 70. The report also says insiders are filling them in with Joker 2 will be a musical, which, while a surprise, does make sense as Lady Gaga's starred in A Star is Born, an American music. Yeah, she's also a singer. Why don't you start with that? She's a singer turned actress. Let's stop trying to fill space. So there's the Hollywood Reporter tweets. I think she's too old to do it, quite frankly. But whatever. If it's good, it's good. If it's garbage, well, that's to be expected. Even the sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show was dog shit. But if the script's good, Joaquin Phoenix will probably sign on. Or they shovel enough money at him. Event Horizon needs a sequel, but not with Hollywood now. Oh, I agree. I love that movie. Wait, isn't Harley supposed to be attractive? Lady Gaga, really? Right? That's what I'm saying, Oki. She's kind of mannish and a little chubby. Like, her face looks okay when they make her up enough. You spackle enough on anything, I guess it could be cuter, but just stepped outside the workshop. There's that time of complete stillness with just a few birds making noise. That's awesome. You get that nice stillness. Yeah. Not the creepy quiet, but the nice stillness. Let's go, Mike. Think Lady Gaga would be a Harley Quinn than the obnoxious Margot Robbie. Yeah. I don't know. I think it could be a mixed bag. I think she's just too old, though. Hey, Lurking, how's it going? So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I don't think the movie needed a sequel, though. All right, let's touch on this one real quick. Gaga's no Robbie. Yeah, definitely in the looks department. Margot Robbie's at least cute. Her character was kind of annoying, but it was better than it could have been, I guess. I don't know. I'm really torn on that because I really didn't like the Suicide Squad movies. And Birds of Prey was dog shit. The last Suicide Squad movie was okay, but I don't think they really showed any respect to the characters. I think they both sucked. That's fair. Almost done building this pool. 3 days, 1 day of concrete drying. Oof. Good luck, dude. That sounds like a pain in the ass. Yeah, Cannibal. Look, I'm always for people getting healthier. I like Quinn, portrayed by Margot Robbie, as a nice ass. That was the only one to notice. No, I agree. She had a nice ass for a chubby chick. From CBR, Batman, Miller and Varley's most iconic cover just sold for nearly $2.5 million. Yeah, the original art for Dark Knight Returns issue 1 just sold for $2.5 million. $2.5 million. There's a JPEG right here I could have for free. Just throwing that out there. So if you want to read the article on it, I'll drop the link. Yeah, absolutely, Oki. She was completely pointless to the storyline. She was just in there because star power. Because they're like, we got to put Harley Quinn in there. There was basically an entire movie of her own in there. So I don't know what the hell they were doing. But she had really no effect on the main plot. I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I heard it's good, Eddie. So... yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. She's kind of a mixed bag. I don't think she's a terribly good actress, but she's moderately attractive, so she makes a bunch of money. And here's a story I don't think I touched on a few weeks ago when I meant to. But this is out of New York. It's from the New York Post. It's very tangentially comic related. Comic book vendor stabs man in dispute outside of Macy's in Herald Square. And what got me was like, there's an issue of Turok #1 right there. Like, what is this, your dollar bin, dude? A comic book vendor stabbed a man during a fight outside Macy's in Herald Square on Friday evening. This was a couple weeks ago. The vendor, a man in his 50s, got into a dispute with another 21-year-old man that led to a scuffle on 7th Avenue and 34th Street around 7 p.m. The 21-year-old was transported to Belle Reve with non-life-threatening injuries. There's blood spatter. It's not immediately clear what caused the dispute. Both men were arrested in the incident. Photos on the scene show bloodstained sidewalk outside the Macy's store. Investigators could be seen collecting evidence near a table filled with scores of comic books behind tape. There's some long boxes down here and some books on the table. I'm guessing the old man was like, Tim Drake is not gay, and neither is Iceman. And the other guy was like, you don't know, old man. Comics aren't for you. Boom, stabbing. That's what I'm guessing. I haven't found an update on this story, so maybe someday we'll find out. Birds of Prey sucked. It did. That was a god-awful movie. Yeah, Oki, you're not wrong. She was in that movie just to put on her costume and look pretty. The movie could have been a lot better. Whoever edited that first Suicide Squad movie, I know they were music video editors and it showed, but they did such a terrible job. That movie was unwatchable. I hated that film. All right, let's jump over to NBC New York, which is Channel 4 News for those of you in the New York region. Riverdale actor who killed mom reportedly planned to kill Justin Trudeau. Holy shit, what? So, I'm not going to pull up the article because it's a slideshow, basically. This dude used to be on Riverdale, and he murdered his mom because she found out that he was planning to kill the Prime Minister of Canada. Kind of fucked up stuff. Dude sounds like he had some kind of psychotic episode. He's pretty young. So he pled guilty to murdering his mother, but I think they're probably going to hit him with some more charges for the plot to go after Trudeau. So if you're a Riverdale fan, you can look at the show much different now. You're welcome. All right, do you guys have you ever seen that show Crisley Knows Best or something like that. According to CBS News here, they're in some trouble. Reality stars Todd and Julie Crisley convicted of fraud and tax evasion. I thought it was going to come out that he murdered gay hookers, but no. It turns out it's just a little tax evasion and fraud. Reality stars have been found guilty of tax evasion, the Justice Department announced on Tuesday. Their accountant was also found guilty of a number of tax crimes. Before the couple's show, Crisley Knows Best, began in 2014. They conspired to defraud community banks in the Atlanta area and obtain more than $30 million in personal loans. The Crisleys and their former business partners submitted false documents to obtain millions of dollars in fraudulent loans and then spent the money on cars, clothes, real estate, and travel. They used new loans to pay back the old ones. Classic pyramid scheme by poor people. Todd Crisley then filed for bankruptcy and was able to walk away from more than $20 million of the loans. While Crisley claimed he was bankrupt, he and his family were earning millions from their TV show, according to the news release. Whoopsie. The Crisleys were operating a loan-out company, which are usually used by entertainment professionals and earned money from their show and other entertainment ventures. When the IRS asked for information about their bank accounts, they transferred their loan-out company's corporate account to Crisley's mother in an effort to hide from the IRS. That's not even creative in the slightest, even though Todd Crisley was still operating the loan-out company behind the scenes. That is a perfect way to get caught. The Crisleys failed to file tax returns or pay any taxes in 2013, 14, 15, and 2016 tax years. While speaking on a radio show, Todd Crisley claimed he paid $750,000 to $1 million in federal income taxes every year. However, he hadn't paid in years. The couple's accountant, Peter Tarantino, was found guilty of conspiring to defraud the IRS and filing 2 false corporate tax returns on behalf of the Crisleys company. On those tax returns, he falsely claimed that their company earned no money and made no distributions in 2015 and 2016. Julie Crisley also manufactured financial documents and lied to real estate agents to obtain a luxury rental house in Los Angeles, California. The family did not pay the rent, and they were evicted. Julie Crisley was found guilty of wire fraud. She was also found guilty of obstruction of justice because after learning about a grand jury investigation, she submitted a fraudulent document to make it appear they had not lied to the bank when they transferred ownership of the loan-out company's bank account to Crisley's mother. Sentencing is scheduled for October 6th. Of course, the FBI is doing a victory lap. Go find and bust some people that were at Epstein Island instead, you douchebags. Meanwhile, life is so cruel. Savannah Crisley vows to stand by her parents, Todd and Julie, after her dad's scorned gay lover tipped off the feds, leading to the fraud conviction. There's a lot going on in that sentence. Savannah Crisley took to Instagram on Thursday, vowing to stand by her family in the wake of being found guilty, her parents being found guilty in connection to bank fraud and tax evasion earlier this month. She asked followers to be kind as it's been a few weeks amid the family turmoil, and she shared a quote from writer Zaina Keithley. "This life is so cruel and we're doing the best we can." Apparently the best involves defrauding banks. The Atlanta native said, "I will continue to stand by my family and fight for justice. Justice for ourselves and for others that the system has failed." Sounds like the system did what was right. Ugh. Oh, that's long. I'm not reading that shit. There's so much I can comment on. I think she meant can't comment on legally at this moment. She said, while she felt let down by God, maybe you should feel let down by the parents that scammed $30 million from a couple of banks, or the fact that they didn't file their taxes. Where's all that redistributionist shit now? She feels her relentless prayers have been unheard as she continues to remain faithful over the future. Oh, isn't that special? Wow, that hairdo is not helping your face. She thanked her fans who continue to stand by her side, blah, blah, blah. She is as a kid. Nobody cares. Not feeling sympathetic for either of these two assholes. Savannah wrapped up and saying, "Now is my time to break the glass ceiling. No matter what comes, I will succeed." Yeah, you probably got a cut of that money stashed away somewhere. The post came more than a week after Todd and Julie Crisley were found guilty on federal bank fraud and tax evasion at the end of a 3-week trial by a jury who found the reality stars guilty of conspiring to take out more than $30 million in loans under fraudulent circumstances. The couple was also found guilty of tax evasion and conspiracy to defraud the IRS. The IRS never forgets. They will come at you forever. While Julie was found guilty of obstruction of justice and wire fraud, U.S. Attorney General Ryan Buchanan's office said, according to the AP. Todd Crisley lawyer Bruce Morris said that he expected to appeal the case and will likely lose. Prosecutors said that the Crisleys, seeking loans, gave banks false documents. We went over that. So there you go. That's the long and short of it. Reality stars doing stupid reality star shit. Not a big surprise. Still expected it to be dead gay lovers under the crawl space or this patio slab, something like that. Savannah looks snotty, and I bet she got some good on her. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't doubt it, Pat. There's your links, Shady. So it's like a huge group of moronic idiots. Yep. How's it going, Beth? I'll never have a scorned gay lover. Oh, that's just stinking thinking, Lion. I know you can do it if you want to. Sounds like a giant pile of bullshit. I agree. Even the Joker doesn't fuck with the IRS. Yeah, that was a funny scene in the animated series. Absolutely. I got to file every year. Why can't they? Because they're apparently ripping everybody off. How's it God's fault? He's playing Russian roulette with elementary schools. That metaphor isn't hashtag too soon, is it? No, not really. What? Todd is totally straight, right? But apparently they found out from his gay lover. It says it in the bottom half that how the guy got turned in, I think. So, yep, there you go. Crisley apparently didn't know best because he got caught. All right, let's jump back over to CBR for a second to find out some exciting news. Tim Drake lands a new solo Robin series spinning out of his Pride special story. Wah, wah. So we're going to see a lot of him flirting with his gay boyfriend and not a lot of adventuring. DC is giving Tim Drake's Robin his own solo series spinning out of Batman Urban Legends and DC Pride Tim Drake special. DC announced that Batman's third Robin will soon headline his own solo series, Tim Drake Robin, real originally titled there, which launches in September. The series will come from writer Megan Fitzmartin, who also does Batman Urban Legends, Dark Crisis, Young Justice. She's not a very good writer, I'm sorry. And artist Riley Rosamo, who does Harley Quinn, where they have like really pointed faces and stuff. We'll follow Tim Drake as he enters into a new chapter as a superhero operating in Gotham City. The synopsis reads, this kinetic, high-energy series pulls Tim center stage as a mystery over a year in the making takes shape. Just tell me I'm going to have to buy 12 issues. How about that? I'm not buying it. I'm not investing 12 issues worth of money because the first issue is going to be like $6 and then they're $4 after that. Fuck this. A new villain who's been hounding Tim from afar decides to take things up close and personal, putting Bernard and everyone else Tim cares about in peril. All then, Tim finally carves out a corner of Gotham City just for himself and sets up shop in his very own murder shack boat. Oh, yeah, that sounds riveting. Told me nothing about the book. Created by Marv Wolfman and Pat Broderick, Tim Drake first appeared in 1989 Batman 436, The Lonely Place of Dying storyline. And became Batman's third Robin, following Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. In 1990s, Batman number what? That's not right. Having also operated under Red Robin, Alien for a time. Batman Urban Legends number 6 saw Tim come out as bisexual after he previously dated Stephanie Brown and Cassie Sandmark, Wonder Girl. Since then, Tim has been in a steady relationship with one of his friends, Bernard Down. Tim was never bisexual for 30 plus years. And now, 30 years. And now suddenly he's bisexual, and that's all he is. He's just gay now. Just say it. He's gay. You made him gay. DC Pride Tim Drake special #1 saw Tim reconnect with Stephanie after they'd broken up, as the two, along with Superboy and Impulse, deal with the runaway elephant in Gotham City. That story sounds fucking riveting. Once the elephant has been dealt with, Tim confides in Stephanie and tells her he still values their friendship. You've always been exactly what I wanted and more, he tells her. I just realized it wasn't because of your gender, you know? I don't only like girls. God. Okay, let me rewrite this. I just realized it wasn't because of your faith, you know? I don't only like Catholic girls. I like all Christians because Catholics are dirty heathens, and I prefer to date Unitarians now. The issue ends with Tim introducing Stephanie to Bernard for the first time, and the two become fast friends. Of course they do. Gays are automatically loved in all comic books. While Tim navigates his way through his new solo series, Batman's biological son Damon Wayne will continue his journey as Robin. In Batman vs. Robin, the new series will come from writer Mark Waid and artist Mohammed Asrar. Goes on sale September 13th. Mark Waid is a good writer. Politics aside, he is a solid writer, and the world's finest book he's doing is really good. If you can keep politics out of it like he has been, it'll be a solid book. But this could be good if they finally get rid of Damian Wayne by the end of the series. Then I'll be happy. So, yep, this is going to be stupid and more boring. Beat you over the head with LGBT nonsense that nobody wants to read. Unitarian, you slut. I know. Hey, Deckfish, how you doing? Oh, thanks, man. I hope your day's going well too. So there you go. Tim Drake is getting his own series again, and it's going to be cringy. Oh, thank you, Oki. Sorry I missed this. Clearly it was. I'm not having this $1 comic graded, then selling it to you for 50 cents. Yeah, so much of this stuff just is garbage. This is definitely an industry in decline, and a lot of these things are going to not be worth anything. It's really sad, and it's going to be looked at as a really dark time. So I get that stabbing. I really do. Like, the old fans and new fans have a lot of headbutting, but it probably was over a price negotiation. You're not wrong. So you are not getting it for 50 cents. Fuck you. I will wipe my ass with this issue of Turok before I give it to you for 50 cents. All right, let's talk Bleeding Cool here, talking about Wonder Man. I don't want to think about that, James. It really does taint the characters because it just shows how lazy modern creators are, that they can't create new characters that happen to be gay. They have to transform the old ones. And it's just the height of laziness. And not just as far as this story goes, but also their ability level, that they're that creatively bankrupt that they can't come up with anything new. So Tim is going to get himself a little boy in tights, just like his by-father figure does. Kind of. You egg, stabs him, right? 50 cents, you're a monster. So a guy wipe his balls with a comic instead of selling a guy a $6 book for $2. It was worth at least 10. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't understand. I understand wanting a good deal, but a $6 book that's worth $10, if it's going for $10 online and you see it for $6, just buy it for $6. Asking $2 is a slap in the face. And wiping your balls on it, that's definitely respectable. It takes a lot of guts to whip them out and do that right then and there. So I will stuff this down my pants. Fuck you. That's funny, though. I wish I'd seen that. Wonder Man, Cretin guest developing Disney Plus live action series. This could be really cool or it could be really stupid because a lot of the Disney Plus stuff has been complete dog shit. What's that you said? You wish Marvel Studios and Disney Plus would create a streaming series for every character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? How about just the comic universe? Well, the Hollywood Reporter is reporting exclusively on another step the studio and streaming are taking to make that happen. Filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and writer-producer Andrew Guest, Brooklyn Nine-Nine Community, this is going to be a silly, wacky show, are apparently teaming up for a live-action take on longtime Marvel character Wonder Man. Guest will serve as head writer, with Cretton executive producing and possibly directing an episode or more as part of their overall deal with Marvel Studios. As well as development of the project is still in the early stages, Hollywood Reporter wrote, if things crackle, cameras could be rolling in 23. Wonder Man's an interesting character that has been poorly treated many, many times. If you go to the Heroes Return series of Avengers, which is volume 3, 1997, I think, version of Avengers, Wonder Man was done best there, in my opinion. He was done pretty well in the Avengers series, but they had that stupid fucking safari jacket on him, which I know a lot of people love, but I think was a little bit silly. And this costume with the purple powers were really, really cool. So go mind that for good content, not dumb shit. Not the Solo series either. That wasn't very good. Would y'all read Wonder Girl if she was a dominatrix? Probably not. There's other characters that do that. All of it's dog shit if it's on Disney Plus. I liked WandaVision, but turning Wanda into a villain is trite, and it's been done a ton of times. And I'm tired of heroes becoming interchangeable with villains. So hilarious. He didn't even whip them out, by the way, just down his pants. That I gave the seller a 5 out of 5 and left. Nice. Yeah. Could never get around his silly name. Yeah, I understand that, but he was named in the 60s and it was a kid's book. I mean, what do you expect? A lot of characters have really silly names. All right, now I want to go back to last week and talk about some other pop culture news because it hits the algorithm really well and makes people watch. I mean, because it's very interesting stuff. Thoughts on the Baby Yoda show? I think they should have left Grogu written out of the show because he had a great ending and they should have left it that way. But they're like, oh, we can't have a show where it's action-packed and not have the little kid, right? Because Hollywood executives are dumbasses. And bringing him back in damages season 3 of The Mandalorian. But I liked Mandalorian. I thought it was pretty good overall. I have a few minor quibbles, but like I wish Taika Waititi would stop showing up in programs that he's filming or movies because he's not that good of an actor. He's super annoying and he plays the same character every time. Like, I'm a goofy guy. Shut up. You're not funny, dude. All right, over at ABC 7, Britney Spears' wedding with Sam Asghari had an unexpected guest, her first husband. Britney Spears has married her longtime partner, Sam whatever, at a Southern California ceremony that came months after the pop superstar won her freedom from a court conservatorship. Asghari's representative, Brandon Cohen, confirmed the couple's nuptials. He said, I'm very ecstatic this day has come and they're married. I know he waited for this for so long. He is so caring and supportive every step of the way. He pays you to say that. The wedding happened 9 months after the pair engaged and nearly 7 months after Spears' conservatorship ended. While seeking an end to the court case that controlled many aspects of her life, Spears expressed her desire to marry and have children. Spears got pregnant earlier this year, but I don't care about her miscarriage. It's weird. The couple met on the set of Slumber Party music video in 2016. The wedding day was not without unexpected drama. Spears' first husband was arrested after attempting to crash their wedding. Ventura County Sheriff's Captain Cameron Henderson said officers responded to a trespassing call after 2 p.m. Thursday. He says the pop singer's first husband, Jason Alexander, was detained at the site of the ceremony. Henderson says Alexander was arrested after officers noticed he had a warrant for his arrest in another county. Alexander went on Instagram Live when he approached the event security in what appeared to be a mostly empty but decorated room. He told them Spears had invited him. She's my first wife, my only wife, said Alexander, who was briefly married to Spears, his childhood friend, in 2004. Their marriage lasted 55 hours. Spears was previously married to Kevin Federline, with whom she shares 2 sons. So this dude crashed the party live on Insta, as the kids say, and claimed that that's his first wife, his only wife. That sounds kind of crazy, right? And you think, oh, that's kind of nuts. So, well, we go over to the next article here, and it gets even stupider eventually because it's got to load because this fucking thing hates me. Britney Spears' ex, Jason Alexander, has been charged with felony stalking after crashing her and Sam Asghari's wedding. Dude already had a warrant out, and now he's being charged with felony stalking. Well, she also fired her security team over this, but I didn't feel like covering 3 articles on Britney Spears. He's been charged on Monday with felony stalking after crashing the pop star's wedding in her home in Thousand Oaks, California. This was at her house, guys, not like some random venue. Alexander, 40, a childhood friend who was briefly married to Spears in 2004. Yeah, like 55 hours. It's not even 3 days. He's also charged with misdemeanor trespass, vandalism, and battery. So he put up a fight. Ventura County Supervising Deputy District Attorney Aaron Meister told BuzzFeed News the stalking charge stemmed from a potential pattern of misconduct of coming on the property. I have reasons to believe this was not the first time he had come to the property, Meister said. Yeah, he probably knew his way around. Ventura County Sheriff's deputies arrested Alexander Thursday afternoon after responding to a report of a trespasser at Spears' mansion. He was initially booked at a Napa County warrant relating to felony grand theft and buying and receiving stolen property charges from a 2015 incident. Meister said Alexander entered not guilty pleas on all 4 counts during a court appearance Monday. A representative from the public defender's office has been appointed to represent him. His bail was set at $100,000. A criminal protective order has also been issued to prohibit Alexander from contacting Spears. An Instagram live video shared online by fans who rallied at the Free Britney cause regarding her conservatorship showed Alexander making his way into Spears' home, which was decorated for her wedding to longtime partner. So he's on video doing this. Why did he? They're gonna hit him with a bunch of like long-term stuff. They're probably gonna max it out because he's already got charges of grand theft and this other stuff. So he's probably got a record for other stuff too. In a statement to BuzzFeed News on Monday, attorney Matthew Rogazart, who's also been representing Spears in proceedings over her now defunct conservatorship, thanked authorities for their prompt and professional work, saying they had been very responsive. Yeah, they probably got there like, oh, Britney Spears needs us. Let's get there. They previously, that the battery allegation was related to an altercation Alexander had with Spears' private security team, which made the trespasser report. And she subsequently fired because they didn't do their jobs. He's due in court Wednesday for a bail review hearing, which I didn't see anything about, but I think it probably stayed about where it was. Because if he's already in trouble for grand theft, they're not going to reduce his bail on this. He got way too far into the house from the sound of it, Jake. He shouldn't have got anywhere near that far. So it sounds like that was the reason why is they didn't respond fast enough. And they were probably told to be on the lookout for him too. Because it sounds like he might, if he's getting charged with felony stalking, there's probably been some other incidences like this. Girls also don't sleep with crazy either, because there are a lot of dudes like this that are weirdos. But we are at the top of the hour again, and that means it's time for shameless whoring. So if you're enjoying the show, please hit the like button, share it on your social media, subscribe if you haven't, and ring that bell for notifications. If you're feeling generous, you can toss me a couple bucks at the Streamlabs link going through the chat now, pinned at the top of your chat and in the description. All right, and back to comic books. Slight spoiler alert for Captain America #1, Sentinel of Liberty, which I have zero interest in. Hey, Frosted, how's it going, man? So, Captain America villain returns with a totally new look. That's misleading. Captain America #1 brings back a classic Marvel villain. No, it doesn't. That's a lie. First issue of the new series finds its titular hero alongside Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, as they keep watch over a 4th of July parade that has become the target of some unseen force. Probably those evil white people. Oh, no, Ta-Nehisi Coates isn't writing it anymore. Soon enough, the villain behind the plot reveals themselves to be none other than the Destroyer, Marvel's most twisted super soldier. Not only has he returned 7 decades after his supposed demise, but his latest look is only the first ill portent of the future the Destroyer brought with him. Brian Falsworth first appeared in 1977's Invaders number 18 by Roy Thomas and Frank Robbins, something of a begrudging pacifist during the outset of World War II. Falsworth's ideals were far from those expected as the son of the United Kingdom's premier superhero Union Jack. Eventually, Falsworth was imprisoned alongside German biochemist Erich Schmidt, who supplied him with a variant of the super soldier serum, which created Captain America. After a near instantaneous transformation, Falsworth escaped his confinement before embarking on a career as the Destroyer, dismantling the Nazi forces from behind enemy lines. That doesn't sound like a supervillain. When his father died, Falsworth took up the mantle of Union Jack from time to time, even fighting at Steve Rogers' side on occasion. Unfortunately, Falsworth lost his life due to a car crash all the way back in 1953. At least that's how history was written up until now. With Falsworth returning as a villain, see, he's now a villain. Once again, moral relativism strikes. They have to turn all the heroes into villains. They did it with Steve Rogers, turning him into Hydra Cap. They're doing it with an obscure character that was Union Jack for a short time. Despite Destroyer's new suit and energy-based weapons of flight capability, yeah, you get the idea. They beat him, of course. So they made him a throwaway character in a book. And why he has a skull face and his hair's coming out, I don't know. It might be a mask or something. Costume doesn't look too bad, though. But they made him a villain because why not? Every good guy has to become a villain in modern comics because you could just flip-flop roles. Why have a redemption arc? Why have a story? Just make good guys into villains for no reason. For sheer laziness. There are plenty of villains that they could have put in the book. Instead, they decided to destroy a character from the 70s. An obscure character at that. He used to fight Nazis, and they were like, nope, not good enough. He's a little too pale and male, I guess, as the kids would say. So, yep, gotta change things up. Gotta make heroes into villains because then they could discredit them, and you have to accept their stupid new characters. That's the thinking, I guess. Maybe he was just a trans bad guy. That's a possibility, Ori. I hadn't thought of that. All right, let's talk Ghostbusters news. Jason Reitman confirms Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel in production, reveals a return to New York City. A follow-up to Ghostbusters Afterlife is in the works, with Jason Reitman returning, and it has a very important twist that is a huge callback to the first 2 films. Nobody respects Paul Feig, so we're not mentioning that. Sony sees the potential after Afterlife's box office performance, and Reitman shared his hope at San Diego Comic-Con 2021 that the table would be set for new movies. That hope has come with traction as a sequel was announced on June 8th, Ghostbusters Day, the anniversary of the original release in 1984. He said, we're writing another movie tonight. We're going to share the code name for the next chapter in the Spangler family story. So there's that. Since it says Spangler family story, that implies that the kids from the last movie are going to be in this one. A clue for the code name appeared in the post-credits scene. Okay, we're not Firehouse, right there. There's a picture of the Firehouse. I don't know how you could not figure that one out. The franchise is expanding with new ventures in the animated realm, including a new series on Netflix and an animated film from the makers of Metalocalypse and Hotel Transylvania Transformia. Chris Pranosky and Jennifer Kluska. Chris shared the news and his excitement on Twitter, along with a photo of him and Jennifer toasting with Ecto Cooler in front of Ecto One. Ecto Cooler was delicious. As a longtime Ghostbusters fan, my brain exploded, he wrote. I'm honored that Jason Reitman and Gil Keenan have entrusted Jen and me to direct this animated feature. Excuse me while I pick my brains off the floor and we can go make this movie. Okay, that's kind of cool. Hopefully it's good. And an in-canon limited edition series from Dark Horse Comics is slated for release at the end of the year. Now, Ghostbusters comics have been traditionally at IDW for the past 10 years or so. So it's interesting that they're now over at Dark Horse. But it's supposed to be in canon, so we'll see how that plays off. Stranger Things comics from Dark Horse were supposed to be that way too. And they're total dog shit, and they pretty much said, no, these aren't canon. So, yep, new Ghostbusters stuff. I liked this movie. I thought it was a good kids movie. Hopefully they'll make a good follow-up film. Gotta make Paul Feet Panties get no twist. Yeah, hopefully. That movie was such trash. I don't know why that movie is vaulted as some kind of classic. All right, we'll do a couple more and then wrap up. Yeah, I got about 3 more I really want to hit. So, and then we'll talk about a castle experience that you can go on. All right, we have a new addition to the Doctor Who cast for the Russell T Davies return, and it's an unexpected one. Neil Patrick Harris joins Doctor Who as a villain. As a librarian? What? Neil Patrick Harris joins the cast for season 14 in a villain role. Russell T Davies confirmed the casting, noting the Doctor to beware. It's my huge honor to open our studio doors to the mighty Neil Patrick Harris. But who, why, what is he playing? You'll just have to wait. But I promise you, the stuff we're shooting now is off the scale. Doctor beware. It's also announced Harris is currently filming scenes set to air in 2023 as part of the show's 60th anniversary. And I wonder if this is going to be part of whatever the David Tennant project is. First look at the actor in the series has been released, see below, and Harris teased his villain role on Instagram. My current gig never looked more dashing. Thank you for inviting me into the Who-niverse. Don't do that. I'll try my hardest to do my worst. The Doctor has no idea what's in store, and if it does, who cares? Ha 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 ha. Davies also confirmed the villain role on Instagram, noting Neil Patrick Harris, welcome to Cardiff, playing the greatest enemy the Doctor has ever faced. Is he playing the Master? Such a great actor, such a great man. It's an honor and a hoot. Have fun. Neil Patrick Harris is known for tons of shit. The BBC recently announced that something I can't pronounce will be the new Doctor. Yasmin Finley will play Rose, and Doctor Who season 14 will also see the return of David Tennant and Catherine Tate, part of the 60th anniversary thing. Some fans are guessing the new season under Davies will be something like a Doctor Who multiverse due to various characters returning and other characters seemingly played by different actors. We don't know if Yasmin is playing the Rose from Billy Piper's Rose, or if this is a different character who is also named Rose. Everybody's just assuming it's the same character. They've never said that. Life on Doctor Who will get brighter and wilder, and how can there be another Rose, teases Davies. Well, lots of people have the name Rose, so we'll find out in 2023, but it's an absolute joy to welcome you. It's been whatever. Nobody cares. She's trans. That's what they're getting at. Something about that outfit looks familiar. There was a toy maker in the second Doctor's show this reminds me of, but I don't think it's going to be the same character. So there you go. Neil Patrick Harris is going to be on Doctor Who. Isn't Doctor Who going to be a black guy now? Yep. The guy whose name I can't pronounce, he's like Rwandan or something. He's going to play the Doctor. Is IDW dying? Yeah, they're bleeding money. They lost like $2 million in their last quarter. And they lost they had contracts from Hasbro for all like toy licenses, and they lost the G.I. Joe and Transformers one. No word on the other ones like Mask or anything like that. But they lost Transformers and G.I. Joe to Robert Kirkman's Skybound Comics. So IDW is probably going to fold soon, which is sad because I was really liking the Yojimbo series from them. Yeah, you're not wrong, Frosted. I'll never understand the appeal of Doctor Who. Yeah, I get that. A lot of people don't. I like the old stuff. Some of the new stuff's pretty good. Most of Tennant's run was pretty solid, but the newer stuff is just garbage. Mask is highly underrated. It is. And it can be done really well, but that stuff is just not done well anymore. Same with like Visionaries. Any product, any IP could be good if you get a decent team on it. They just haven't done much with it. And when they tried to do like Visionaries, they hired a really wordy author, and it was not very good. But there is some good news that I wanted to showcase before we end the show, of course. And this comes from For the Win. A Duke Nukem movie is coming from the Cobra Kai creators. Legendary Entertainment, along with Cobra Kai creators Hayden Schlossberg and John Hurwitz and Josh Harold, is bringing Duke Nukem to the silver screen. A story by The Hollywood Reporter confirms Legendary has acquired the film rights from Gearbox Software and will produce alongside Jean Julian Barnett of Marla Studios, best known for the live-action Assassin's Creed movie. Ooh, that's not a good sign. The report also states that Schlossberg, Hurwitz, and Harold are on board as producers. The ink on the deal is still dry, though, and there's no director yet. Legendary is also looking for a writer to tackle the material as well, so it'll be years before this movie ever comes out. The original Duke Nukem is right up there with Doom, Wolfenstein, and Quake in terms of first-person shooters that defined the genre in the 90s. Yeah, Duke Nukem needs to be a very not PC movie. Hyper-violent, killing the pigmen, and it needs to be foul and chauvinistic. It absolutely needs to stay true to the source material, or it's going to flop. So there's that. Hear me out, Duke Nukem movie, but done by Troma. That would probably be better than most of the Hollywood clowns getting their hands on it. Say what you will about the Assassin's Creed movie. It had sweet action. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Oh, yeah, I didn't drop the Neil Patrick Harris link. There you go. There's that story. Good. I hope they don't mess it up. I could use a non-woke action flick, right? I really hope it's not woke, because that would be really lame if he starts respecting women or something. There's some other good news before we get to our final bit of stupidity. This comes from Bleeding Fool. Michelle Yeoh and Justin Chin to lead Netflix's The Brother's Son. Now, Michelle Yeoh is an amazing martial artist. She's getting older, but she's still awesome. And Wing Chun is one of the greatest martial arts films of all time. Sorry if you're wrong and you think otherwise. Michelle Yeoh and Justin Chen will lead the series, which was set in the world of Taipei gangsters. It comes from American Horror Story co-creator Brad Falchuk and Brian Wu. Yeoh, who stars in Paramount's Star Trek franchise, carried away, as well as films such as Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I've heard awesome things about, Crazy Rich Asians. No, she starred in The Heroic Trio and Wing Chun. Sorry, those are way more important than everything else. Well, this is her most recent movie, I'll give you that. But Star Trek, you couldn't say Wing Chun. Fuck you, you ignorant swine. She plays Mama's son, while Chen, best known for the Snapchat series Two Sides Unfaithful, stars as Charles' son. The brother's son follows a Taipei gangster, Charles' son, who's settled into his life as a ruthless killer, but when his father is shot by a mysterious assassin, Charles must go to LA to protect his mother and utterly unaware younger brother, Bruce. Yeoh's Mama's son is described as shrewd and observant, having built a new life for herself and her son in Los Angeles, far from her past in Taiwan. While Chen's Charles' son grew up the elder son of a crime boss, groomed to be a hardened criminal. He goes to Los Angeles to protect his mother and younger brother, but finds himself torn between the life he's been raised in and the life he could make for himself. Better Call Saul's Sam Song Lee plays Bruce's son, who came to the U.S. as a kid with little memory of Taipei, you mean Taiwan, and has no idea of his family's past. While his infamous and respected brother shows up on his doorstep, Bruce is thrown into a world that he's vastly unprepared for. It's an 8-part series set in LA and Taiwan and will feature an all-Asian writer's room with plans for an all-Asian cast. This could be really cool. If Michelle Yeoh signed on, I'll watch it. It's never into Duke Nukem, more blood and doom. I like all three of those franchises. I hope they open Duke Nukem with a soy boy being soy and getting punched in the face by Duke. That'd be awesome. While chugging a beer with his arm around a chick. You just named a third of Asians. No, the martial arts style Wing Chun, which she was in, which is a fantastic martial arts film. Highly recommend it. All right, now let's talk about the weirdest thing I saw today, which is, all right, let's assume that you're a nerd that likes Dungeons and Dragons, because we have to assume that for this. Everything Everywhere All at Once was as the actor who played Data in Short Round. Oh, wow. Wow, that dude's still working? Good to see that. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that movie. I didn't even know Michelle Yeoh was in it. I just saw the title and I was like, that sounds dumb. But when I saw Michelle Yeoh was in it, it was already out of the theater. A buddy of mine had seen it and he said it was awesome. All right, so if you're into D&D and you have a pile of money that you don't need, well, then I have a Streamlabs link pinned at the top of the chat. But you can also go on vacation. Well, looky here. I'm here for 3 minutes. Hey, Johnny, how's it going? You can go on vacation and play D&D in a castle. A vacation beyond imagination. Come and relax and meet new friends as you play D&D in a real castle in northern England. A world-class dungeon master will take you through a 3-day-long campaign. That's called one module, kids, not a campaign. While games and frivolity fill your days with a host of new friends. Look, you could get gift cards. Register your booking, secure your place. Now, I got a few questions, right? All-inclusive luxury vacation. All right. Well, everything you need is provided so you can focus on your game, enjoy fine dining for each meal, and want for nothing during your game with snacks and beverages. Alcohol not included. Yeah, don't get booze hound drunk at this paid vacation. World-class dungeon masters. I don't know what that is. Some of the best role players I ever played with that were dungeon masters, you've never heard of because they're just hanging out with their group of friends. But this is world-class dungeon masters. Yeah, or big ol' X to doubt. 3-day campaign. That's not a campaign. 3 days of gaming. Even if you're playing for 12 hours a day, you might get 2 modules done, 2 adventures. That's not a campaign. Upcoming adventures. There's a couple scheduled here. You got September, October. All right, so I looked up on Travelocity how much it would cost to fly out to this place. And it was only like $807 from Columbus International. But let's get into Dungeon Masters here before we look up the actual cost. So we have Androsa. I've never heard of you. I've never heard of any of these people. This elf guy. I am not playing with this dude ever, okay? You dress up like a dark elf and sit on a throne, I'm not playing a game with you. This chick. She looks snarky. She's got the quirky side of her face up. This dude who's side-eyed me like I'm about to steal his snacks, which I probably would, so that's fair. I'd let him run a game. This dude who looks like his other hand should probably be somewhere in frame, or he's doing something obscene. Another snarky side of her mouth turned up. Fat middle-aged dude. Yeah, that's a game master. Clint McElroy. He looks like a dude that used to run a game for me in college. And he had this elaborate chart system that made ICE look like they had never created Chartmaster. You old timers will probably know what that is. But ICE had Middle-earth role-playing for a long, long time. And it was just all charts. And Alan took it to another level and said, no, those charts aren't enough. I need 2 more for every single thing. And he looks just like this dude. So this guy's older. Some chick that has no personality except pink hair and big boobs. Some old dude that looks like he's going on safari. Dice cream sandwich. Nope. Gabe Hicks, he's just staring off, trying really hard not to look at the camera because he doesn't want his full face associated with this. Another person I'm not ever gaming with, the GM Tim. You can interpret that one on your own. Henry VIII, this chick, this weirdo, this guy, he's probably fun. I don't know. The gauntlets are a big turnoff. This dude who's probably going to hit on me, Anton LaVey here. Anybody that does this is a douchebag. You do this in any degree of seriousness for your publicity shots, you're a douchebag. This cowboy that looks like he hunts skinwalkers. Soy Face McGee. This dude. Again, why are the only people taking this seriously the black guys? Like, you look like a douche. This dude looks like a cowboy that hunts paranormal monsters. This guy looks like he just shit himself. This dude out in the woods where he's going to bury your body. She's probably going to hit patriarchal people with that. I'm weirdly attracted to her. I don't know what that's about. She's got a giant forehead. I don't know who any of these ass clowns are, though. These are world-class DMs, guys. This dude, he's pretty normal looking. This hipster douchebag. Another douchebag, he's making, oh, look how intellectual I am. Ugh. God, you people are disgusting. No, your high school yearbook rejected photo. Look, I have a really embarrassing high school photo, according to my parents, but I'm not embarrassed by it because I don't give a fuck. This is the type of shit you did when you were like 17 or 18, dude. Don't do that. Oh, look how intellectual I think I am. Middle-aged dude, I'd game with this guy. He looks normal. Same with this weirdo. I'd probably game with him because he's old. He's probably down for like killing monsters. She looks a little too serious. Probably won't game with her. Thor Nye. I'd game with that guy because his name's Thor. I am never gaming with you because you look like a DJ that wants to smell children. God, what's with the purple hair on a dude? That's weird. Is he related to the other McElroy guy? Apparently there are a couple. Whatever. Do they take turns? Like she only kills players. And this dude who looks like the guy with an English accent that would try and seduce your girlfriend. You can recommend Dungeon Masters too for this, apparently. So, yeah, that's a thing. But there's more. 3 days, that's getting your group settled down, opening a story, getting your group to shut up while they continue. The rest of the time is dick and fart jokes. Yep. You're not wrong, Giovanni. And hi, by the way. Why do almost all these guys look like the type that to put in wheelchair ramps? Yes. Yes, exactly my question, too. Cowboy that hunts paranormal monsters. I'd read that comic. Yeah, I would, too. It's way too original for anything from modern comics, unfortunately. D&D, let's play a roving band of murder hobos. Yeah, that's what D&D is. Streams, $5 says Jack's yearbook photos features him holding a katana. No, I'm wearing a Doctor Who scarf. Dead serious. I'd show it, but not till I end up getting doxxed, which my dox is out there. Somebody's already found it, so probably won't be long. That's not a challenge, guys, because I already had somebody show up at my house, and that was not cool. All right, so this takes place at Lumley Castle, 14th century quadrangular castle in Chester-le-Street in the north of England near the city of Durham. Property of the Earl of Scarborough. It's a Class 1 listed building. I don't know what that means. It's named after the original creator, Sir Ralph Lumley, who converted his family manor house into a castle in 1389 after returning from wars in Scotland. However, after being implicated in a plot to overthrow Henry IV, he was imprisoned and ultimately executed, forfeiting his lands to the Earl of Somerset. You're going to a traitor's house. In 1421, the ownership of the castle reverted to Sir Lumley's grandson, Thomas. During the time of John Lumley, first Baron Lumley, he altered the windows of the castle to let more light in, installed a new fireplace in the Great Hall, along with a lavabo of black and white marble, adorned with a pelican, which is the crest of the Lumley coat of arms. On the ascension of James IV and and as King of England. Oh, James I, King of England. In 1603, he journeyed from Edinburgh to London to take his new throne. On April 13th, en route from Newcastle upon Tyne to Durham, he stopped briefly at the castle as a guest of Lord Lumley. Who cares? Some obscure king that lived there. There's a picture. There's a map. There's a diagram. Whoop-de-fucking-do. All right, what's in D&D? What is D&D in a castle? D&D in a castle is a 4-day luxury, all-inclusive tabletop gaming retreat in a genuine English castle. Guests eat, sleep, and game in the castle for 4 days and nights. Every guest plays a 3-day campaign with a world-class professional DM. So such thing as a world-class DM. I'm sorry. You might make a living doing it. I'm guessing a lot of these guys are streamers. That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, how are you a professional DM? And up to 5 other guests for 8 hours each day. Only 8 hours? That should be 16-hour marathon days. Or you're not going to get any adventuring done. During the remaining hours, guests can choose from between more tabletop gaming, one-shots, and other activities such as game-related crafting, escape rooms, and outdoor games. Is the escape room really where they just lock you in a room and tell you to have fun trying to escape? All meals are prepared by the castle's own chefs, and all guests stay in the guest rooms of the castle, which is also a luxury hotel. Yeah, from what I could tell, that from what they said, it's about $200 a night because you don't pay for the room and board when you pay for this. Now, place your deposit. The deposit is $1,000. The total price for one round of D&D in a castle is $2,850 per person, plus accommodations, which start at around $200 per person per night based on double occupancy. So if you and your girlfriend that you sadly dragged along to this charade decide to go, you're going to pay $2,850 per person and then at least $200 per night per person. So $400 per person per night, 4 days, $1,600 right there. Plus another $5,000 or actually more for going. And yeah, that's pretty rough. So I looked up flights, like I said, and it was about $807 to fly out of the Midwest from Columbus International in Ohio. And that's pretty cheap. It was round trip. But that was only 4 days. And this is 4 days and 4 nights, so it's going to cost you a little more. Probably a couple $100 more. Professional DM is one that gets paid enough to live off of. Yeah, I'm shocked that's a real thing, though. Oh, yeah, there's going to be some LARPing at this. You know some of these clowns are going to show up in complete outfits and be like, "Ew, hello there. Well met, brother elf." And annoying shit like that. Or do you apologize for that? No, you didn't. I was bringing pizza. You can keep them. You have to keep mentioning one incident. Oh, dude, if you had brought pizza, that'd be a different ball game. But I was on stream at the time it happened, too, which really annoyed me. Having a bill collector show up to your house doesn't count as a dox. Oh, no, my bill collectors all know better. DoorDash drivers aren't there to dox you. You don't know what those people do. They're weirdos. Seems a little too close to LARPing. Just provide wenches, steak, and booze, right? Like, I know people are going to show up dressed for this shit. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But I don't want to play with those people. I want to sit around and have fun and slaughter a bunch of monsters. Evil monsters like orcs and kobolds and maybe some dragons or something. I don't want a bunch of whiny, boring people. And most of these DMs look like a bunch of pussies. They're going to make it boring. Oh, we got to have a bunch of interpersonal communication. Did you know this elf is gay? Yeah, all elves are gay. So, yeah, I don't know. I would pass on this just to play with friends. I don't want to be stuck with strangers. I don't care where it is as long as I have caffeine and snacks. Right? That's how it's supposed to be. Down and dirty. You sit at a kitchen table, roll some dice, make fun of each other for doing stupid things and failing, and everybody makes fancy flashlights using scroll cases, continual light, and a glue spell. Unless they're dark elf women or wood elf women, skin all elves. Yeah, well, gotta have that dark elf make out with that wood elf and then join in, right? What's up, Road Dog? Seems like I could have a better game at my kitchen table with my other nerdy friends. Yeah, I'd rather just go on vacation and hang out at a castle for a weekend and relax than have to deal with a bunch of pseudo nerds doing boring pseudo nerd shit, having boring games, because that's what most of the stuff is. Most of the streams I've seen with professional groups, air quotes, you can't see them, but they're there. They're boring. They don't do a whole lot of like fun stuff. They don't have adventures. They just sort of meander around doing boring pseudo nerd crap. There's no fighting the big monsters. There's no overarching storyline, or if it is, it just seems very boring to me. So I guess I'm cynical in my old age. So yeah, that's a thing you can do if you have like 10 grand laying around that you want to spend and drag your partner to. It's not for me, but I thought I would share its existence because I think it's a delightful way to waste 5 or 6 grand for idiots. But like I said, I'm not opposed to going to a castle and checking it out. I like castles. They look cool. But I am not spending 3 grand for some asshole to play a D&D game with me. No, thank you, sir. No, thank you. But that's really all I had for today. So I want to thank you all for coming out and joining me, because it's always fun. I like doing streams. Oh, thank you, Retro V Gamer, for the donation. Thanks for the show, Jack. Everyone check out Bad Comic Review stream. Yeah, absolutely. And I had a video come out, so I'll drop the link to that as soon as the page loads. Should have another one out in a couple hours. And for those of you that are patrons, I dropped a patron video yesterday too, which I'm going to have another one come out for the patrons later on, either tomorrow or Sunday. Don't forget the laundry videos. That's right. You can watch my laundry. It's, hey, watch my laundry. So go to a White Castle. Yeah. Stuck with a jackass sting and wizard character all weekend would suck. Yeah, it'd be annoying as shit. So yeah, I'd rather play with friends or people I know that have a sense of humor, and I know I'm not going to piss off when I misgender some purple-haired weirdo that's sitting at the table that has way too much money to waste. So yeah, I don't want to get thrown out of a castle. It seems like that would be annoying to me. And I know my luck. I would totally do that. And then I'd be like, oh, well, there went all my money. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for the donations. It's very, very helpful. Thank you for the support by showing up and just watching the show. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully we'll see you all in the next one. Hope you all have a lovely evening, and we'll see some of you on Monkey in the morning, I'm sure. Be fun to rent a motel in the area and just show up dressed as a jester, get drunk, and make fun of people. That would be fun. Nothing like getting arrested in the UK. You guys have a great day, and do something exciting, and have fun. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.